Stories unfold in the softest sound. In the night watch, we're tightly bound. A cozy vibe whispers through the stream, like drifting slow inside a dream. Conversations linger late and free. The night watch is the place to be. Hang out here beneath the glow, where time moves gently, hearts all flow. Secrets shared in a soothing tone. The night watch feels like home. A laugh, a thought, a quiet tale. The night breathes slow, we set our sail. Through every chat and every laugh, we weave a stream, a timeless path. Stay while the stars are bright, each word a spark that paints the night. Connection deep, it soars and sings. In this space, the heart takes wings. Hang out here beneath the glow, where time moves gently, hearts all flow. Secrets shared in a soothing tone. The night watch feels like home. Hang out here beneath the glow, where time moves gently, hearts all flow. Secrets shared in a soothing tone. The night watch feels like home.
Hey everybody, good evening, good morning, good day, wherever you may be at. For me, it's evening. And that's why I call this the Night Watch. I like to come in here in the evenings. It's pretty quiet around here in the evenings. This is the time of day when I do my recordings and stuff. And I know folks on the West Coast and other parts of the world mention often that they always can't catch us when we're on during the day. So I thought, I'll come hang out with you in the evening. So here I am. I hope you're all having a good one. Very nice here today. Usually I get started about an hour ago, but it was too dang warm in here. It was just too nice to, close up the house, put the air conditioning on already. I mean, you got to enjoy some fresh air, right? So a little bit warm in here, but it's cooling off nicely this evening. Very nice evening, very nice day. And hello, everybody. I see Speedy's here. Speedy's ready for some chuckles, and I will try my best to deliver. We also have Jess stopping in. Hello, Jess. We have Katie here. We have Phantom in here. How y'all doing? It's good to see you. And Da Freak stopping by. What's up, Da Freak? And speaking of nice weather, I like being outside. My wife likes being outside. We like our gardens and everything and stuff. And I was out with the camera today. So there's a video up, and it'll also be on Dave's Pond page too. And in case you don't know, my hobby has always been, pretty much since I was a kid, I've had fish. And over the years, the many fish tanks became fewer and fewer, and then became one big fish tank. And then eventually the one big fish tank kind of became just the winter home for my turtle when I started having a pond. And we'll drop this in the chat. And I will pin it. There we go. Yeah, so it's called Dave's Pond. You can see my pond different times a year, and I have the build on there too. So start to finish, basically there was a littler pond and then it got bigger, right? So you see us taking the fish out, expanding it till it's all with the fish back in. So yeah, if you're curious, I have my build on there, and that's my hobby. And I also have a little garden and stuff because I like some fresh veggies in the summer, especially tomatoes. We have good tomatoes here in Ohio. Like tomatoes or not like tomatoes, we got good tomatoes around here. So I enjoy them. And so, yeah, I was out with the camera, so I thought I'd share the video real quick before we get started because I'd like to share it. And I hope you like watching it as much as I enjoy being out there with it. So I'm going to share it with you here. It's just a couple minutes, and enjoy. And 2025 is in season. We got the garden all in. Got the plants out. I transplanted some stuff, so it's looking a little sorry back there, but still alive. New bamboo screening up. Everything's outside. My fern bounced back. I thought I was going to lose the fern, but it bounced back. Fish are saying hello. Hello, fish. Fish are looking good. Got a bunch of trimming done. All the plants out, all the way around. Chimes are up, lights are out. We're in full swing. And somewhere, you can see here's all the hidden plumbing and everything. Somewhere back here in the overgrowth, there's Bigfoot. Bigfoot needs to be moved out a little bit. Disappearing, but he's still there. I'll hail Bigfoot. All right, so yeah, that's the pond, and what happened? I got way big. There we go. My shirt's kind of, I got a little yeah, I got some green in my aliens, don't I? I put the peace and love shirt on because it's big and comfy. Peace and love, everybody. And don't forget the probing. And hello, Austin. And yeah, John stopped in too. Hey, John, good to see you. Austin's doing his homework. Good man, good man. Them grades, we're counting on you. Yeah, I've got to move my Bigfoot. Stuff's gotten, thicker over the years there. So I move the Bigfoot out and then put it back again. And then, So, but yeah, I do have Bigfoot, and if you notice, there's kind of a mythology theme around my pond too. It's not only on my channel and curiosity things, it tips over into the pond, right? So I've got a mermaid, I've got a gargoyle, I've got Buddha, which is it was a gift, means a lot to me. I've got the Moab, the Easter Island head over there. I mentioned a mermaid. I got the turtle, spitter, because I used to have a turtle, and that's memorial for the turtle, because turtle passed away. But I had a turtle for like 20 years or something. It was a long time. And it used to live in the pond. And one day it didn't anymore. So, and then, there's a Loch Ness monster in the pond. And what else? I think there's something else. I got some skulls and snakes and stuff like that around it. And it's kind of my things, are in my statues around my pond, Hello, Robin. Good evening. I was just showing my pond video. It is posted, and it'll be up on my Dave's Pond channel too. And if you want to check it out, I pinned the channel up there. Stop by and check it out. That's my hobby. And I was explaining to everybody, ever since I was a kid, I had fish, and a lot of fish tanks became fewer fish tanks. And I had one big fish tank, and then I moved out into the pond, and now I don't have fish tanks. Well, my son has a little fish tank. So yeah, the fish thing is all outside now, and I like the gardening and combining it all together. I have my little Zen spot, and it's nice. And yeah, and I got tomatoes. So that was about 40 days. Let's have some tomatoes. All right. So, you been in the hospital? Is that the same thing that's been bugging you, Robin? Thanks, Freak. I can be nice. Disagree, but I can still be nice about it. Same issue, Robin. Yeah, I hope they get some relief for you. Speedy recovery to you, Robin. And speaking of Speedy, I seen Speedy Romans in there earlier. Said Speedy was glad to see me on because he needs some laughs. So we'll see what we can do about the laughs. I do have a video already queued up to look at. I don't know if he's a priest or he's got the white collar on though. But this is another one where if you listen very carefully, it's like he's pretty much doing the work for me. And I always like these kind of videos. And then let's see what's up in the queue here. I think I can adjust this one because I think Speedy will like that one. Okay. Well, we're going to start off with this one, and then I know I got you hooked up, Speedy, because I've got 110 videos in my queue because I see number 108 there, 109, and yeah. So there's 110 in there. So we got to find some for you. All right. So let me get the things set up here. And I heard from my son earlier, talk about coming over on Sunday for Father's Day so we can feast. So that'll be a good time. All right, we get that up there. Okay. And turn the volume on. Okay. This like this, okay? All right, here we go. Let's see what he has to say about Adam and Eve and creation.
But Adam and Eve, we must believe, were real, and here's why. Without God's creation of those first two human beings, there is no fall.
No fall. That's kind of important, right? So if there was never just two human beings, this already starts to fall apart at the fall. All right, gotcha.
The whole story of Genesis is about the fall. If
Yeah.
there is no fall, there is no original sin.
Uh-oh. Sin out the door too. All right, I like that you're doing the work for me. I appreciate this.
If there is no original sin, there is no need for a redeemer.
Ah, and you know who that is, right?
If there is no need for a redeemer, there is no need for Jesus Christ.
Yep, that's the guy. Doing the work for me. I don't know what much else to add. You know, I mean, are y'all getting the hint here? I got it real quick.
So we need Jesus Christ. We need to have a redeemer. The word Adam, A-D-A-M,
They have to have the Redeemer. Over all the evidence, they have to have the Redeemer.
means man in
I don't
Hebrew. So we are basically putty in God's hands.
When they use these arguments of, oh, this word means this, and it's like, yeah. It's how words work, right? Intrepid, how you doing? Joe, the Kentucky atheist. How you doing, Joe? Big Bad Mama in here. Hello, Mama. Good to see you. And music by Brian. And yeah, well wishes all around, Robin. Let's see what he's got left to say.
We're the ground that he mixes and that he created from. There is no definitive church teaching on how God created.
Yeah. Nope, that's a problem. That's why God's not a good answer, because it has no explanatory powers to it. It's God did it. How? I don't know. That they think it's a good answer, but it's not. It's just not a good answer.
Just the fact that he created. Okay? This is where we get hung up.
Yeah.
We think the Bible is a science book.
Yeah.
I condemn the Bible because this doesn't make sense that the earth was, or that the sun was created 4 days after the light was created. It's
Right.
not a science book.
No.
It's a theology book.
Right.
A book of faith and morals,
Right.
not physics and biology.
Yep. I agree with all that stuff. The problem is back at the beginning where you said without two people, it all falls apart. And genetics will show there was never just two people. We're descended from population, and they are descended from populations. That's how it works. The two people thing don't work. And your own words, then you don't have Adam and Eve, and then you don't have the fall and sin, and you don't need Jesus to come back to redeem you. But they need a redeemer. That's what struck me. We need a redeemer. But forget all that there never was any of this. We still need to be redeemed of something that doesn't exist. So there's that need of, for whatever, many reasons probably, that they need a redeemer, period. So I found that interesting, though. He did the work for me. He pointed out that if there wasn't the first two people, okay, well, there weren't just two people. So thank you very much. I appreciate it, pastor, priest, whatever you may be with the white collar, bishop. I don't know the denomination, sorry. But yeah. So I'm going to skip a little here to, let me see this one here. All right. You're gone. Okay. we're going to skip to this one for Speedy because I was laughing along with this because of just the, well, I don't want to spoil it for you, but I was laughing. So here we go, Speedy.
Can you imagine like this life, how complex, how amazing it is? It actually takes more faith to believe we came from a bacteria that just kept on evolving.
Yeah. No, doesn't take more faith. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but no, it doesn't. Here we go. This is actually pretty long. It's a couple minutes, so.
Because that's what the whole evolution is. I don't know if you guys
Well, that
know.
makes no sense to
But
me.
it started with a bacteria that ended up in the water that turned into a fish. The fish jumped out of the water, turned into a land animal. The land animal turned into another animal that turned into a monkey that turned into a human.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No, I mean, in a way that's close enough, right? You know, I mean, if you don't know any science, but you understand, well, there was something in the water and then it evolved and it came up on land and became primates and then us. Yeah, okay. You know, you're lay person, young person, whatever. That's fine, you know. But then laughing at it when you barely can explain it, see, there's a problem, right? But they think it's funny and there's a whole group of them. So maybe the laugh will be contagious. We'll see.
Well, then why did we stop evolving? Why didn't we turn into something else?
We did turn into something else. See, this is where the problem comes in. We were something else. See, that's how it works. Okay. And if you give enough time, we will be something else. Depending on factors. Now, the way we influence our own environment has a lot to do with, you know, what will happen. But theoretically, we could become another species. We could branch off into another species. Yes.
Right. That's literally what was my question. I was like, then why are there still monkeys? Why are there
Okay, everybody, why are there still monkeys? This is a classic. Come on, this is a classic. Why are there still monkeys? Okay. Of course, the answer is, why do you still have cousins? Why do you still have aunts and uncles? Why do you still have grandparents? It's yeah. Okay. It's so bad. Why the monkeys thing is always great, but okay. And we are apes, of course. And so yeah. Anyway, they're having a good time though, aren't they?
still fish? Like, why didn't they all evolve? Like, why did just a select few?
No, there's I don't know how many species of fish there are. Let's find out. This is what I love about the internet. Of course, I don't know if these folks here know how to put in a question, but we'll give it a try. We got quite a list. 530 million years ago. Fish range from all different sizes, up to 16 meters with the whale shark, and 8 millimeters long. Little tiny. Some 400 species of fish in 50 families can breathe air. All right. Probably not going to give me a good number. I have to look through this forever. But there's, I saw there was 1,000 or 1,100 species of the one kind of fish, and then there's breakdowns of others. So there's a lot of species of fish. So, and how many species have come and gone, of course, and there's still all kinds of species of fish. So when you have lots of species of fish, they evolved to different species of fish. Get that? No, I don't. I don't think so.
Just decided to create a whole nother species. To me, I'm like, that takes way more faith.
It's so funny, because you don't understand basic terms, not at all. Species, multiple species. Okay, even some of the ones they'll claim, like the coelacanth and stuff, it hasn't changed. Well, there's other species. Didn't do it a lot, but it did do it. I think there's some shallow water kind and some deeper water kind or something like that. And there's a couple different species. And then you have species like fish and birds where there's thousands of them. Species. So when she says, why didn't the fish turn into another fish? Well, they want it to turn into a human being or something, but what they do, okay? The fish turn into different kinds of fish. And some of them get adaptations like the ones, what I just read off, 50 species can breathe air. Okay, and when you can breathe air, guess what you can do? You can flop up on the beach. And if you can get to a food source, there's going to be a drive to get to that food source by flopping up on the beach. And the best flopper wins. And if you get your fins a little stronger, you're going to win. And then they climb up on the, become land animals. So very easy to understand if you would stop giggling. Of course, maybe they're partying. Maybe.
Yeah, to believe something so crazy.
Right?
It's not crazy. You basically explained it, but you're not listening to yourself.
And then where does the bacteria come from? I guess. Like, you're going with that one. Like, it didn't just form out of thin air.
Exactly.
It didn't just form out of thin air, but God made it out of thin air. Of course, it didn't form out of thin air. Mike has explained it before. I'm sure Austin knows. As soon as you get, the lipid layer or something that can make a circle, you have a primitive cell and all that. It's pretty much understood how it happens.
There is this joke of this scientist arguing with God, saying like, we have so much intelligence now, we have AI, we have all this, we could create human life. And God's like, okay, we'll do it. And then so he picks up dirt from the ground, and God's like, get your own dirt.
Oh, man, that's such a good one. Yeah, man, you know what? That joke's older than me. And see, that is the futility of trying to address any of these arguments. Hey, Tori. Hey, Justin. Trying to see who else is in here. I think that's all of them. Hello, everybody. Good to see y'all. Got a nice little crowd here this evening. Thanks for hanging out. But this is the problem, okay? No matter what argument, this is what they're going to go back to. AJ, how you doing? Good evening. That no matter what, they're going to say, well, no, see, you got to make your own dirt. You got to make your own elements. You can't have test tubes or anything because you got to make your own elements and all this nonsense. So ultimately, there's no answer that you can give scientifically. It's just anybody that wants to argue like this, there's no point. There just isn't.
Yeah, go get your own dirt.
Go get your own dirt.
So funny.
I got my own dirt. See my garden? And mind you, see, we are actually producing our own soil or so-called dirt. I bought the compost tumbler, right? And my wife has a thing at the sink, and we put the stuff in there, and we put it in the thing, and you turn it, and then every once in a while you scoop out dirt, soil, right? So, but then they'll say, well, you got to make your own banana peels, and it's like, oh, okay.
But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
And that's why I just love
it's not crazy. It's just, I don't like to pick on people, okay? But seriously, did you sleep through science classes? I didn't take anything special. I took extra years of science when I was in high school, but I didn't take science in college or anything. But we had biology in high school. You didn't learn anything? Nothing? And they'll say, oh, we didn't learn evolution. Well, yes, you did. If you learned anything about biology, you did. I'm busy passing notes or something, right? I don't want to pick on homeschoolers, but that may contribute a little bit of the problem in some cases. I know folks do a good job with it. I know other folks shouldn't be doing it. All right? That's all I'm going to say.
Creation, because creation itself to me is proof of a creator.
Mm-hmm.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, and the fact that like nature,
the beauty argument, okay? First of all, the beauty argument to me in a Christian worldview is it's non-existent. I mean, you can't say that the whole of creation is cursed and look how beautiful it is. Right? So Mr. Pastor, priest, whatever he is with the white collar on was just saying earlier, right? No, you got to have it one way or the other. You can't go both ways. Hey, Michael, how you doing? I say I know folks do homeschooling, whatever. That's fine if you're doing it right. Now, not everybody's equipped to do it. Not everybody can do it. There's a lot of reasons. But, I mean, come on. I went to public school. We had biology class. Some of these things I find people should know at least the basics. Even if you're a believer, you should have at least paid attention in class, like you're supposed to. Maybe. Just saying. Maybe halfway. I mean, I was a teenager in high school too. I was only probably half interested, and I managed to learn some biology. I'm really disappointed. I find it really hard to believe that so many people just didn't hear anything in that class. I don't know. I find it baffling.
persists, like no matter what. Like we could create the most advanced things like buildings, computers, whatever, but look at that in 100 years. If it were just to be left like sitting out in the elements, it's being overgrown, it's being destroyed by nature. Like nature always persists.
Okay, you lost me. If you don't maintain things, it gets overgrown. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yes. Yes. I love that.
A nice smile, but yeah, not it.
So good. Thank you for sharing, Lumari. That was powerful. That's
No, it wasn't. Come on, I follow these strange connection things, okay? And that was bad. All right, I'm sorry, that was bad.
So true.
You know,
And you know the Big Bang Theory, how everything
Here's the topper, Speedy. Here we go.
came from like a bang, just an explosion, and it came about. Well, the only way that could ever be possible
Uh-oh.
is back in Genesis when God spoke. God
Uh-huh.
commanded, because I'm like, a bang could only come from a command.
Oh, God's the big banger. I think that's Frank Turek. I believe in the Big Bang. I just know who banged it. The Big Banger. All right. No, that was really bad. I enjoyed it though. I enjoy these ones that are really, really bad. But that was really bad because I'm just, I'm disappointed. I really am that these folks just didn't seem to learn anything in school. And even if you're homeschooled, I mean, there has to be a biology book in there somewhere, right? All right. Anyway. And have you seen these going around?
Welcome back to the show, Bigfoot Cooks.
I don't know how much I want to, play of this. I'm just giving you a little taste here. But check, these things are amazing, okay? Truly amazing. And I'm not, this isn't a debunk or anything. This is just amusing because, and amazing where the AI is getting with this. I mean, we're talking fur on, I mean, it's truly amazing.
Some hikers generously gave me some ingredients to make pizza today.
So as it goes, the missus is having cravings because she's pregnant. So she wants pizza. And of course, he's got his selfie stick. He shows you how to make the pizza.
Make sure you use gentle pressure. Today I'm making a pepperoni and cheese pizza.
Yeah, I don't want to swipe too much of their stuff, but yeah, go check them out. These things are amazing. This one is, let's see, what was it called? Bigfoot Vlog. And there's a bunch of other ones out there too. These things are great. They truly are. The AI is just becoming amazing. I mean, the way, the hairs move, and they've got the mouth is almost in sync now and everything. It's not just the cartoon, oohs or ahs shapes, truly amazing. Truly is. So yeah, go check these folks out, support them. These things are great, whoever's doing them. Thank you very much. I had some good laughs from them. Yeah. Bigfoot makes pizza. Bigfoot makes ribs. Bigfoot makes burgers. Bigfoot makes fish. Bigfoot finds some mushrooms in the forest. Bigfoot with Yeti. There's a whole bunch of them. So very amusing stuff. Go check them out. And now we'll get back to business. Let's see who's in the queue here. Oh, we got a train coming by.
Does evolution contradict the Bible?
Thank you, because the name of this video is, Does Evolution Contradict the Bible?
After all, did Adam and Eve just pop up out of nowhere once God made them? In fact, why does the fossil record indicate that we descended from ape-like ancestors? Well, the Catholic Church had the same question. And in 1950, Pope Pius XII said there's a chance that our bodies evolved from earlier species. But God...
There's a chance, right? Because there was too many scientists telling them no, right? Which we just addressed earlier. There wasn't just two people.
Specially designed the human soul. Going through the fossil record, we see sort of a gradient where we find skeletons of varying proto-humans, like Australopithecus
Proto-humans, okay.
and Neanderthals, leading up to the modern day Homo sapien. Perhaps somewhere along this gradient, God infused a soul into them via genetic mutation.
Aha! That's what I wanted to hear, right there. There's a genetic mutation that we can test for your soul. That's what he said, right? God put a genetic mutation into us, and then we got a soul. Before that, we didn't have a soul.
Starting with Adam and Eve. That would mean that Adam and Eve's parents were not humans with souls. They were...
There you go. Okay. So, geneticists out there, if you're listening, here you go. Somewhere in the genome should be the soul. And it should be something that wasn't there pre-existent to how many ever thousands of years ago that Adam and Eve supposedly were walking around. So I don't think that would be too hard to trace back. We're not talking a long time, just within, that's within carbon dating ranges, right? All right, there's the test. Folks, mark it down. The soul should be in the genome. I don't think so. But good try. I mean, this is kind of like Hugh Ross. Hugh Ross suggests the same thing, that without denying evolution and everything, that basically like you had the first two religious people and you call them Adam and Eve. And it's like, okay, I ain't got no problem with that. But infusing something into the genetics, I don't know. That one's kind of new, but that would be testable. So there you go. And then, of course, we have answers in Genesis. I saw Joe in here earlier. All right, you're gone. I like to stick in some answers in Genesis. Got to stay on them. So let's see what they're saying here. And you got what is the date? Yeah, it's already past that. Less than a month for the ARC protest coming up. And Ryan is here. Hello, Ryan. How you doing? Good to see everybody. Let me see what I got next in the queue here. Does evolution contradict the Bible? Yeah. Most of science has nothing to do with mythology. I will give it to the guy earlier with the white collar. He did admit that the Bible's not a science book. And we've had discussions before that if you want to have your theology here and your science over here, it's not really the problem. The problem is like with these creationists that are trying to steal some science over and misrepresent it and everything to try and prove the unprovable, right? You can't demonstrate any of these supernatural things. So it seems in the end pointless, and it's just to, I think, ruin a bunch of kids' educations, because you hear a lot of these stories about, they didn't learn this and this in high school or a home school or any of that stuff. church schools. Joe's talked about some areas of the country, that, they still teach all that stuff. And, teaching the science, it's not going to hurt nobody. Gosh, 21st century, folks. Who's next? We got to have someone that's better than this.
If you look at this stone here, the eyes are kind of at the top, the little red.
All right, now, supposedly this stone was carved by Neanderthals. This looks like a stone to me, but I guess, okay. But what's interesting is there's a fingerprint on it. Okay.
Red dot in the middle is the nose, and the thing in the bottom is a mouth. It comes
Still looks like a rock to me, but okay.
from the age of quote unquote Neanderthals. That little red dot, actually you can see the fingerprint pattern in the dot. And it's one of the earliest known human fingerprints, actually, which is really cool. And Dr. Jennifer Rivera, as a friend.
Well, I didn't verify this, but yeah, if they found a really old fingerprint, that's pretty cool. Proves it's somebody or something with a fingerprint. Could have been another cousin of ours touched that rock. I still don't see the face in it. Looks like a rock, but I'll grant you that. Now, this is my favorite part. Answers in Genesis. Were you there? Anybody that's ever listened to Ken Ham, were you there? That's what you stand up and tell the scientists. Were you there? Were you there? If you weren't there, then you don't know how all these things happen. Ken Ham has a forensic scientist on staff. That's studying stuff that happened when you weren't there.
Forensic scientist here, and she's a fingerprint analyst, and she said you can tell too it's from the tip of the finger, not like from this part of the finger, because there's certain patterns you see.
And how did she tell that? She wasn't there. See, there's a reason that debating, some of these folks would really irritate me, because if your prime argument it's one of the biggest ones Answers in Genesis has from Ken Ham is, were you there? Okay. I would just keep saying, were you there? How can you know any of this? You weren't there. Well, there's ways to do, and how is that? Processes of science? Is that how you do it? Yeah. So science can be done when you are not there. Surprise, Miss Forensics expert.
See, which is really cool, because somebody dipped their finger in paint, right, and put it right on the stone, right where they thought the nose should go.
This rock that is found with this fingerprint on it is made up of a quartz-rich granite that's not found in the site where the rock was found. So it must have been transported over the distance in the hand of a Neanderthal. So I'd like to think of this human who just picked up a rock and decided they were going to take it with them and maybe assign some meaning to it, making this fake.
I guess it's a face, but it's pretty cool. It's got the dot on it, right? But yeah, Answers in Genesis. Just when I think you can't be any worse, you're using a forensics expert at a organization that relies on primarily Ken Ham's arguments, because you work under a statement of faith. You do and say what Ken Ham says. With his big argument being, were you there? Were you there? She wasn't there. She wasn't there, but yet she knows something with a fingerprint touched that rock with some kind of pigment, right? Yeah. So that's what we're up against, folks. And if you want to know why they're having a protest coming up July 6th, this is why. Because this is nonsense. You're teaching them, were you there? And then you pull out a forensics expert to explain something? Seriously? Okay. All right. But I'm done with that one. Who do we got that's funnier? Oh, here we go. Maybe not. Trying to remember what these are. I got so many of them. Oh, here we go. Let's see here. Are aliens demons?
Some people say, well, aren't aliens just demons?
Some people say, that's what, like, I hear from all these apologists that the aliens are demons now. But I have also heard that Pokemon are demons and Smurfs are demons and rock music is demons and lots of things are demons. Yeah, a lot of Disney's demons. Yeah. Okay, demons everywhere, demons all around.
And because the answer is no, and again, you have to consider, you know, the Gadarene demoniac, he was...
Yeah, the Gadarene demoniac or whatever. I looked that up. I don't remember what it said, but yeah, there is such a thing.
So stark raving mad, he was inhumanly powerful that they would chain him up. The villagers would chain him up in the tombs to try and control him. And he would howl all night in the tombs and he would break the chains. He could not be restrained. So he wandered.
Yeah, it's a Bible story or whatever, or may not be, maybe one of those books in the Catholic thing. I don't know, but there's a book anyway. Yeah, I looked it up. Supposedly this person, for whatever reason, they chained him up and he broke out at night. Okay. Yeah, now I remember.
Wandered around like a vagabond, wandered around the countryside in this insane state of mind with his inhuman power being inhabited by all these demons. So people who are inhabited by demons are not calm and collected. They're
oh. See, that would be, sometimes, I'm just having a bad day and I'm just going to blame it on the demons.
Disposition is, as I said, it's feral. Yeah. They're feral. They're not walking around all calm and collected. And specifically, whenever people ask me, isn't an alien a demon or aren't aliens demons?
Yeah. Aliens are demons. Okay.
Demons, they're usually envisioning in their minds the gray alien, the little 3.5 foot, 4 foot tall, gray alien with the large.
That's not the aliens? Oh, are they the green ones? Because I got a green emoji alien. Where's that? There we go. There we go. Is it green?
Large bulbous head, almond-shaped black eyes. That's what they're thinking. Aren't those just demons? Well, I always try and get people to think logically about this.
That was a good one. You're thinking logically about the demons and the aliens. Okay.
Compare the Gadarene demoniac with
the Bible story about the mythological. Wow, it sounds kind of like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, or a werewolf type base story or something like that. I don't know. Somebody better on the Bible would have to explain it. Yeah, okay.
The gray alien. If you know anything about gray aliens, if you've ever done that kind of research and read especially.
Yeah, we all done that. We all done that research.
the abduction material, you will understand that these are very dispassionate, calm,
scientific,
unemotional creatures.
So they're not demons. Oh man, I ran out of time. You didn't give an answer. I feel gypped. I feel gypped. Hey, you know what? We gotta try again. Here's another one.
When all we care about is what we want, that puts us lower than animals. At least animals care about the environment around them and their children. As far as the alien demon thing,
we don't care about our children or the environment. Okay. Well, not everybody does. A lot of, polluters out there, and I guess some bad parents, but okay.
you always hear that saying, the biggest trick the devil pulled was to convince the world he didn't exist. And he's flipped that to say the biggest trick the devil ever pulled was to convince the world he was an alien, meaning if...
Oh. All right, now we're getting an answer. Satan is an alien. What's up, trusty ape? How you doing, Kevin? Scientists are demons. I'm sure. Everything seems to be demons. Tilting windmill. Good to see you. You know some gray aliens? Yeah, I got a green alien. I don't got a gray alien. I do got a green alien. Yeah, I do got a green alien. Hey, you know what, though? It ain't going to show up. My green alien. Hey, he's giving the finger. I guess I got a gray one too. That's right, I do got a gray alien. All right, I got them both covered. I forgot I had my gray one up there.
If the devil disguises himself as some type of alien, there will be a great deception or a deceiver. Could this alien thing that's been building up for decades, almost a century now, could this alien thing be the deception? It's
wow. Yeah. I had to get my string out for this one. So Satan becomes all kinds of little aliens and abducts people for what? You lost me, bud.
one viewpoint I haven't really thought about too much.
Yeah, I don't. I don't think you thought about it too much. I'll give you that one. We'll give you one last try, though. You got a couple seconds left. Come on, finish strong.
Frankly, it's terrifying to think about.
It's terrifying that Satan is a bunch of aliens. But I don't get the point. And I don't get the point. Wouldn't Satan be better motivated to be a preacher and go to where there's a whole bunch of people and preach them a false gospel? Wouldn't that be a lot easier than be an alien? Because I'll tell you one thing. Either Satan or his minions, they can't fly them things. They keep crashing into Earth. So it's not a good plan, Satan. We're having a chuckle at your expense. All right, the Greys or not the Greys. may or may not be Satan or demons, depending who you ask. The other one didn't finish. And this one here is just scared. But I think we're getting further into it. I'll have to look for more aliens. What do we got here? Evolution is a hoax. Okay, here we go. This one might be good.
The whole evolution theory is a hoax.
Seems to me. Did I cover this before?
Begin to see yourself as God sees you. Worthy, accepted, and empowered.
Maybe not. Okay. You preach away there. God sees you, blah, blah, blah. Always different. You're so great, but that you're also wretched and a sinner and doomed for hell. And yeah. Okay. Now what?
Church, thank God for science, but science is not greater than God.
Oh, that was a good one. Thank God for science, but science is not greater than God. All right, I got you. That's a good line.
You did not evolve from animals.
Yes, we did. We are animals. It's a classification. Words mean things.
Your ancestors were not apes. You were made in the image and likeness of God.
And why aren't we invisible? Why don't I have magic powers? Why aren't we immortal? All these questions. Well, that's going to come back to, well, there's a sin and a curse. Well, I think we disputed that. Well, they self-disputed that one in the first video, that if there was proof there weren't just two people, then all that falls apart. So we're right back to that guy.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah, my brothers. Hallelujah, my sisters. Oh. Okay, hallelujah. There's a good one. Did you get that, folks? Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I mean, there you go. I mean, I don't know what more I can give you, really. And I tried to, I gotta remember to move this thing over. Let me see. 'Cause I did put a little square here. I saw Punk put up a square earlier because it is hard to read the chat thing there. So I did put a square up there to help it show up a little better. So we'll see how that works out. I think they need to be their font size, whatever you call it, the graphic size, needs to be just a little bit bigger, StreamYard. Just a little bit bigger. That'd be great.
I said hallelujah.
Oh, we got a bonus hallelujah. All right. Hallelujah.
The whole evolution theory is a hoax.
Yeah, you said that.
Don't believe it for a minute.
Why?
We did not evolve. We were made by God. You're unique in creation.
The unique argument to finish it off? Oh, no. Yes, we're unique. That's why we are our own species, because we're unique. It's a terrible argument. I've heard this before. Humans are unique, so we were created by God. Well, other species are unique as well, right? It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. So evolution is a hoax, folks. Where's Stephanie at? Believe on the evolution. Because you were made by God. But isn't everything made by God? Again, see, it doesn't mean anything. none when they talk, it doesn't mean anything. If you just take a few minutes to listen, like I'm doing right now, and I'll even pause for a moment. And you say, wait a minute, what you said just doesn't make any sense. But see, it's hard to do in real time, especially when you've got a crowd going and you've been doing this for an hour or 2 hours or whatever you're talking. It all gets lost in the haze. But he's not saying anything. All they're going to remember is, oh, it's a hoax. That's all I heard. Go on about their way. You know, and kind of smug looking about it, ain't he? All right. Don't really care. But if you're telling this stuff to kids, stop doing that. You are removed. What's on? Oh, I like this guy. Let's see what he's got to say.
In the scientific field, if it's a theory, I'm not obligated to accept it and believe in it. Therefore, don't force it on me.
What? Of course you're not obligated to be a scientist or know any science. Nobody's forcing it on you. That's religion. Religion forces things. You don't want to learn any science? You don't have to learn any science. A lot of people don't know any science. A lot of people know that they don't know any science. A lot of people can go through their lives with knowing maybe a little bit of science, but mostly, you know, very, very, very little science in their lives. Hey, it's not a problem. I don't know you're obligated. But a theory is, it's, if you're in science, a theory is something that's pretty solid.
It's a theory.
Yeah.
If I say to you as an intellectual individual,
oh, you're killing me, Smalls. I keep forgetting to fix the thing there. Sorry about that. See, that's another thing. The chat thing. Anyway, how you doing, everybody? You got a lot of chat going on. Good to see everybody chit-chatting there. Sorry I can't watch everything all at once. Trying to say hey to everybody. And speaking of, there's John Hudson. Hello, John. Evolution, a hoax. Yeah, that's, I mean, you know, you heard it here, right? So it's got to be true. Sorry that I had to break it to you. Good to see you, John. What are you talking about, freak? There is no God according to you, yet slavery exists. Explain. Because there's crappy people. Now you explain why God made crappy people. See how it works? If you say, well, God didn't make crappy people, there's just crappy people, then we agree. All right. I hope I answered that. AJ, I've watched several of his videos. He's kind of an illusionist. He speaks big words and it makes him smart. Yeah, I love this guy. This guy's, he gets around. But Geo, they say things out of fear that their God will punish them, of course. But, you know, it doesn't seem to happen when they do bad things in God's house. There seems to be any wrath going on there. Now, see that, you know, a little, you know, little wrath coming down. Somebody's misbehaving. I might say you got something there. You know, every time somebody's trying to do something, you know, a lightning bolt comes down or something. You're like, okay, right? Sure. Bring Zeus, and especially men in robes with crosses.
that the Oxford Dictionary came into this perfection and complexity because something exploded in the printing press.
No, that's not how you made a dictionary. You don't know how they make a dictionary? This is ridiculous. This analogy doesn't work. It doesn't work. Terrible. terrible analogies. Printing press blew up and you get a dictionary. This is the tornado through a junkyard. You know, it's like, now here's the kicker though. On a quantum level, there's no reason these things can't happen. So if you want to get really nitpicky, and I don't know, it's way over, way out of my league. But I heard Brian Cox talk about that you can't have a sandcastle without a creator. But he said on a quantum level, there's no reason a pile of sand cannot become a sandcastle. So there does seem to be a thing there where, no, this thing could happen. However, that's not how dictionaries are made. We know how dictionaries are made. Maybe you ought to learn how dictionaries are made.
Would you accept that?
No, I'm not going to accept that. I just said it don't make any sense. No sense. Nonsense. No sense.
He'll say that is absurd. It's impossible. The moment you think of the...
It's not impossible, but it's very improbable.
Oxford Dictionary, immediately you think of a brain behind it that put it together.
Yeah, because we know who did it.
An intelligent being.
Well, smart enough to make a printing press, I guess.
Put this dictionary together. If the Oxford Dictionary did not come into existence unless there was a brain behind it, how much more this complex universe? So you're telling me...
Oh, man. That's going to be it? That's your argument? The tornado through the junkyard. That's your argument.
The Oxford Dictionary cannot exist without a brain, but the universe existed without a creator. That is impossible.
You know, with a fancy outfit and everything, you would expect a better argument. I thought a dictionary blowing up is how we got Scrabble. There you go. See, Katie is on it. There's a good one. Phone about to die. Hey, you have a good night. Thanks for stopping by, Intrepid Chimp. Lena. Hello, Lena. How are you doing this evening? This evening for you? Maybe? Good to see you. And if I didn't say hi to Gio, hi, Gio. I think I did. But hey, Gio, always good to see you. I saw you were on earlier with somebody. Who were you on with earlier? Somebody you were on with earlier. I saw you on with somebody earlier. Yeah, what is Bishop? Okay, he's a bishop. All right. All right, Bishop, you know what? You get removed from the list. That was terrible. The tornado through the junkyard argument. Ah, that was weak. That was weak. Folks, if you don't know that argument, it's if a tornado went through a junkyard, out the other side would come a 747 or whatever type of thing you want to come out the other end. Now, of course, that sounds ridiculous. You're going to get another, one big pile is going to be a pile all over, right? That's what you're going to get. But you're not talking about, these things are already things that are already made. You have to go down to the point of before these things are even made, when the elements are, doing their thing, pre these things already existing. So these arguments fall apart because these things already exist. They are not coming into existence. Anyway, that's what I got to say about it. If you don't like it, feel free to disagree with me. Who else we got that's terrible? Oh, man. He might be too terrible. All right, we'll give it a shot. This guy really bugs me, though.
Could God have created the Big Bang, started the Big Bang?
I don't think so, because God tells us what he actually did.
No, he doesn't. So, see, we just watched a video earlier. See, if you've been here, you know, if you pay attention to these videos, they're contradicting themselves in these videos. The one says this and the one says that. Come on now. See, here's a big problem. Y'all can't get your story straight. Right? That's a big problem right there.
And it's nothing like the Big Bang. For a start, the time scales are drastically different. The Bible tells us that the creation was about 6,000 years ago.
No, it doesn't. You're going through some genealogy things that are very odd, and they're not even in there to date the earth. They're for bloodlines, for the king, and no, it doesn't say that. Only creationists think that, and they're a minority, by the way.
13.8 billion years ago. Secondly, the sequence of events is completely different. In the Big Bang, we have stars before the Earth.
Yep, and that's why the Bible's wrong. I get asked a lot, well, where's the Bible wrong? I say, and I don't know exactly what's on page 1, but basically, well, on page 1, it says there was light, and then there was stars 4 days later. That seems to be a problem right there. Page 1.
In the biblical account, the Earth is created before stars. Yep. In the Big Bang account, light is created before the Earth. But in the biblical account, the Earth is created first, and then God says, let there be light.
Yep, so there was a planet, because, see, creationists will accept a lot of cosmology and stuff, right? That Jason Lyle and some of these other slimers out there, you know, they do feed some science into that, right? So they'll admit that there's, you know, all these things going on out there. There's other other galaxies, there's other stars, there's black holes. You know, they accept a lot of these things and everything, right? And then you've got him saying basically, well, we can't accept that when, back to Frank Turek, he says, well, I can accept the Big Bang. He just says God did it. Now you got this one saying, well, no. So, are you getting the problem? Okay, people? I mean the Christian folks. You know, come on. You got to get your story straight.
So, if the Big Bang is true, then the Bible is not. But if the Bible is true...
Now see, and this, what do you call it? Is it the slippery slope fallacy or something? I don't have any of my fallacy experts here tonight. Giggity. Yeah, just because of the one little thing, it doesn't mean of the whole or something like that, right? No, that doesn't work. No. Whatever fallacy that is, that's what you're doing.
True. Then the Big Bang is not. And I don't believe the two are reconcilable.
Yes, they are, because it's a book of mythology. And as I explained earlier, if you want to believe in a book of mythology and that for some reason reality was suspended at certain times in the past and these magical things happened, fine. Okay? But you can't slip science in, and you can't say, well, the Big Bang's wrong because, you know, people thousands of years ago thought, well, we're so special, we must have been here first. This guy really bugs me. He's always, I don't know, his voice, I don't know, always bugs me. And I don't like his disinformation. I think I've covered him before. He does a lot of videos for, what is it? Which one is this? CMI? Yeah, CMI. CMI. I've done it. 3, 4 of theirs, maybe. I've done a couple of CMIs. Disinformation Central. And, yeah, no, you're completely wrong. Plenty of See, the creationists set themselves up as the authority on Christianity. All right. Most Christians can accept science. Most other religions, a majority of believers, accept well-established science. And there's no reason that they can't, because just as other things have came along, like technology and all these things, there's no reason you can't accept it and still believe in God. But there are people that do, like, was it the Amish that don't drive cars? They ride horses or have carriages and stuff, stuck in their little time loop or whatever. But, you know, that's like the exception. Most folks, they believe, and, you know, they're not in a horse and buggy. They're not walking. They're in a nice car, HVAC, all that stuff. So, no, not only are you wrong about just denying the science, but you're wrong as far as what your Christian peers actually think, and what your other religions, the religious in other religions, those peers as well. So you know what? You get removed. Do I got to count? I think I rolled through 10 of them. What else did the Bible get wrong?
You know, most people tend to think that science and the Bible are at odds with each other.
Yes and no. Science doesn't really care about mythology. Okay? You can't do mythology in the lab. You can't test mythology. I mean, you can, there's some archaeology where you could say, you know, this city existed, this battle happened somewhere, you find a bunch of spears or whatever. But you can't put all of that just off of just some facts of history. So very, very little I'll grant you on that.
Assuming that since science says that the universe and the earth is billions and billions of years old, and the Bible seems to suggest that the earth was created about 6,000 years ago.
Again, no, it doesn't. That's only when the creationists read that into it.
Well, they can't both be true. So most people either believe that science is right and the Bible's a lie, or they believe that the Bible is true and science got it wrong.
Now, wait a minute. Let me repeat how he said that.
Lie, or they believe that the Bible either believe that science is right and the Bible's a lie.
Okay, science is right and the Bible is a lie.
Or they believe that the Bible is true and science got it wrong.
But the Bible is true and science got it wrong. See, so they're putting the lie in there, okay? I'm not saying believers in something, especially a long time ago, that wrote about it were lying, okay? This is another argument. I keep forgetting to put this thing over. I'm sorry, folks. Trying to keep the chat thing free over there. I wish you could move it. Doesn't look like they're getting anything extra yet. Hey, BS. Good evening. How you doing? So yeah, I've heard this argument a lot too, that they set it up in a lot of cases. The disciples wouldn't lie. That different, you know, whatever Bible stories, any of the instances, you can always pull that up. Ooh, somebody's got a motorcycle out. Sorry, I got the windows open. It's nice. I enjoy it until I have to put the air conditioning on. I like the fresh air, so forgive the background noise. There is a main street down the block, and every once in a while we get somebody out showing off their rides.
But what if I was to tell you that both of these actually harmonize with each other and there is no contradiction at all?
Yeah, when you keep one out of the other, And again, we're not calling these people liars. Okay. Now I hear creationists call scientists liars. People like Ken Ham of Answers in Genesis, whose book title is called The Lie. That's one of his books. It's called The Lie. And who is he calling liars? Most of the scientists.
You see, when God created Adam, God didn't create a little embryo inside of an artificial womb and watch him grow up into a little baby and have him crawling around on the ground as a
Why not? That's the fun part.
toddler trying to feed himself. No, on the first day that Adam was created, when he was only 1 day old, he probably looked like a 20 or 30-year-old man.
See, you know, and there's another thing, right? The little ones are so great. See, I mean, God didn't even want to deal with all that. Right? He didn't want to deal with diapers and you know, running up and down sidewalk, learning how to ride a bicycle. Forget all that. But man, that's some of the great times is with the kids growing up. Yeah, nothing to do with that. Right to make a man. Okay. That never happened. All right. Gotcha.
A fully grown, fully mature male.
Right.
He was able to walk around and feed himself and take care of himself. He was even smart enough to name all the animals in the garden all by himself.
Amazing. Truly amazing.
And so God obviously did the same thing when he created the entire universe and the earth itself. When it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. In the beginning, on day one, the universe already looked like a billions and billions of year old universe.
Oh, okay. The God's fooling you with making the old universe look old, and yeah, there's BS with starlight problem and everything. And yeah, that's just the end around, right? It's yeah. Well, God just made it that way. Okay. All right, but stay there, right? Don't say science is wrong. Just say you believe God did it, all right? And stop there, all right?
Because God created a fully grown, fully mature universe on the first day he created it, just like he did with Adam. And that's why we can see the light from stars that are billions of light years away, because God created it instantly to reach us. And so in this case, science is right. The earth and the universe are billions and billions of years old.
Oh, okay.
But God just created them 6,000 years ago.
Oh, well, there you go. So, okay, so it is about 14 billion years old, but it's not really. And BS is dropping some emojis I see. They don't show up over here. I got to look over here. There we go. We got Jesus, Bigfoot, and Bigfoots, and an alien. And we got a green alien. And crickets and frogs are my favorite symphonic orchestra, says Katie. I love that times. I don't hear them yet, but I have them right under my window. And when I'm sitting out back, other folks, they say they kind of maybe gets a little annoying, but I haven't got tired of hearing it yet. That'll be soon. That'll be soon. Yeah, AJ, didn't want to deal with all the 3-year-olds that came up with animal names. Yeah, that wouldn't be too hard to do, would it? And of course, you know, is there a record of all these animal names? No. So it doesn't really matter. Say whatever you want. Did Adam and Eve have navels? In the paintings and stuff they do. It's always a joke, right? But of course, of course God would put one there. Why? Yeah. What's the freak saying? Science is a measurement, a tool to establish facts. It's useful, very useful. but it will never answer the big question, why? Why what? I mean, it can answer a lot of whys. You know, why do we, catch a cold? You know, we can explain these things. And it depends on the why. I mean, the big philosophical why of why we're all here or whatever. You can believe whatever you want, but everything seems to be some kind of a natural process, and that's why we're here, and we're not here for very long. And the older you get, like me, you got more years behind you than ahead of you, probably. And, that's just kind of a reality. I see it when I get some gray hairs, and didn't have that too long ago, right? I mean, you can't deny it. Starts showing up. Doing yard work, I was saying earlier, I like, working outside. Takes a lot more out of me. I hurt my dang knee. It's better now. But man, I was out there with the tiller and I hurt my knee. And it was all swollen up. And it hurt. It was not fun. It's better now though. But I don't ever remember having anything like that bothering me before. Just got to watch how you do stuff now, It's a really bummer. But anyway, what was this dude talking about? I forgot. Did the Bible get this wrong? Yeah, it gets everything wrong. You're dismissed. Who else? Let's see.
Genesis 1:3, and God said, let there be light. Whew, and there's a lot of light out here.
Yeah, see, there again is the problem. Let there be light, but there wasn't a sun yet. And you're just signaling light from the sun. Right? Right. Okay.
Here right now. And that's a good thing.
Yeah, good thing.
He separated the light from the darkness, and that is both literal and figurative, as we can see throughout history and even today.
It's not separated. It's because of the orbits and the way the Earth spins and all that.
The light is definitely separated from the darkness. But in other translations, you can look into it and see that God just didn't say, okay, hey, make a request. Could there possibly be some light here? No, that was
I don't know. I think that would be a better impersonation of God. A little whiny sounding in the voice. That would suit the God of the Bible a little better. Yeah. Like, why aren't they doing what I like? Why? I'm going to smite them. But we love Canada. What's up, Ollie? Elbows up, Ollie. Yeah, I could picture a little more of a whiny voice going with the Bible God, definitely. Yeah. No, I think you got that wrong. But that's just my opinion here at the Night Watch.
the command, light be. And
be. All right. I did it. All right. You see, it doesn't explain anything. Again, there's no explanatory power with God. God just did it. How did God do it? God did it. Well, how did God did it? God did it. There's nothing there.
Bam.
Bam.
You could almost call it a bang.
A bang.
Like a big bang.
Big bang, bang, bam, big bang, big bang. Are we going to have another big banger?
That here we are. And the universe has not stopped expanding exponentially by the moment since. That word from the Lord was so powerful.
There it is.
So impactful, so effective, that the universe continues to expand to this day. And yes, that was the Big Bang.
And I forgot to do the thing again. There's the thing. Dang it. Need a producer. God works in mysterious ways. Yeah, I've heard that. Another lame excuse, isn't it? See, that's one of my problems, and I've been bringing it up lately, is that you're going to lose me when you're going to bring up trying to prove that mythology is real, and then somehow equating it with some of these deep philosophical arguments for God. All right, because all I hear is these silly mythology stories that you can't possibly believe were real. All right, and then it opens up all the other things. Ken Ham and the rest of them, they pretty much believe the knights in shining armor are out slaying the dragons and saving the princess. Okay, that these things are part of history. It's cute for kids, but it's worrisome when it's adults. Okay, it's worrisome a little bit. So, yeah. Right off the bat, you blew it. Let there be light. And he's, look at the sun. And well, that's not what the Bible says. So, you know what? Check the Bible. All right. Come back, make another one. We'll check it out. And you're off the list. Who we got? Oh, this guy too. Man, I can't stand this guy. All right, here we go. I can't stand this guy. Get ready. I can't stand this guy.
With regards to the supposed...
Oops. Dang it.
One question I've been asked...
No, I don't want you.
With regards to the supposed whale...
All right. I wish the buttons would move like that so fast. This is Casey Luskin. Works at the Discovery Institute. He's really terrible. He thinks he knows everything about everything. Pretty sure Professor Dave and everybody's all covered him before. He's really, really terrible. But he's going to pull out a classic here.
With regards to the supposed whale transition series, this is a very interesting case. It's an example where evolutionary scientists claim we have one of the best series of transitional forms, leading from four-legged, land-based terrestrial mammals to fully aquatic whales with reduced hind limbs.
Yep. One of the best, see, I keep forgetting. Dang it. Whales and horses, I believe, are some of the top ones that we have a good series in the fossil record, which is, again, something creationists will ask for all the time. Where are all the intermediates? Where is this going from this to this to this? Here they are. And then now he's going to turn right back around and say, oh, well, see, you gave us all these great transitional species in the fossil record, but...
that are swimming in the ocean, living like modern whales. Yet in this case, we can prove mathematically that it is impossible...
There it is. Mathematically impossible. All right. Every time I hear that, it's just, okay, here comes the nonsense, right? What's mathematically impossible about the fossils that we have? It makes no sense. He's saying it's not possible in the time that whales, all right. Now, overall, okay, from going to land to fully aquatic, you get 10 to 15 million years, okay? That's a long time, all right? That's a long time. The total branch or whatever it is, of the pre-species and everything, you got about 50 million years. So you've got the species that are coming, into being the variety, and then you had some that were hanging around the water already, and then you've got another, then you've got the 10 to 15 million years. So you've already kind of got a start going, all right? You're skipping that part. But still, 10 to 15 million years. That's a long time from being on land to spending all your time in water. That doesn't mean they were fully as they are today, but pretty much they lost their legs and started swimming, and then there's different species now and everything. There you go. But, mathematically, every time they pull this out, it's always a big dud. And here he is, pulling the big dud.
That Darwinian evolution was the mechanism by which these supposed whale transitional forms evolved in this series.
Yes, there's evolutionary mechanisms that maybe Darwin mentioned some or not. Doesn't really matter. Darwin was a long time ago. Catch up a little bit, Casey. Catch up a little bit.
When we look at the whale transition series, the amount of time between these land-based animals and the fully aquatic whales is so short that it's impossible.
Yeah, how long is that? 10 to 15 million years. It's a long time.
That a gradual process of random mutation acted upon by natural selection could be the mechanism which caused this evolutionary change. Some other mechanism must be at work. There's simply too many changes and not enough time to make those changes that is allowed by.
It's pretty much laid out in the fossils. I mean, you can see the legs disappearing, the tail becoming, unlike fish, it goes the other way, right? And then the nostril just kept wanting to gradually get higher up on your head, because the better you can breathe, the better, right? So, your everything starts to shift up. You can see all that. And then you got your blowhole, whatever, so you can breathe better. That's a good thing. That would be definitely an advantage for a air breather in the water to have, would be it to be on top. Yes, that would be selected for. Absolutely, it would. Yep. That's all you got, Casey? Seriously? Seriously? I thought it was mathematically impossible. All you're saying was it was too short of a time. That's it. What a dud. Casey, you're a big dud, man. You really are. And you need to stop, really. The Discovery Institute, too. It's this kind of garbage that they're just saying, oh, by the way, and what has it got? About 850 views. About 850 views. I hope they were all people laughing at Casey, because, again, what did he say? Absolutely nothing. He just said, it's too short a time. Well, how long is that? Well, 10 to 15 million years. Well, isn't that a pretty long time? Well, and what if they're already, kind of living by the water already? Don't they already have kind of a head start? Well, yeah. No, leave all that out. There's not enough time, without mentioning how much time it is or anything else. Because Casey, you're just a big dud. You really are. I don't like Casey. I'm pretty sure, I know I've seen a lot of people review him, so including maybe, I know Professor Dave's hit a lot of people over at the Discovery Institute. He's got a playlist of all the folks that work over there. He does good reviews on them. Let's see. You can't. Who was this one? We'll see. We'll find out.
Get into our world, and when did it get here? Again, we go back to the Garden of Eden, and everyone watching this program has a question to answer. First of all, we know for a fact there are many layers in the earth. We've been looking at those layers. We know for a fact those layers are filled with billions of fossils.
All right. So we're actually learning some science? It cannot be. Soup Lord, what's up? Christian in here. Who else is in there? Bree. Good evening, Bree. Lovely to see you, as always. All the best people stopping through. Appreciate that. Where's my, I have to switch screens. There we go. That's to be a Mothman there for you, Bree. Yeah, that's the Mothman. They don't show up in. I wish the things would show up in StreamYard. Anyway, got to have a Mothman. All right, we're learning some good science here. There's geological layers. I got to fix this thing again. I'm terrible. There's geologic layers with fossils in them. All right, we're learning something. I like it.
That's why we call it the fossil record. We also know that these...
All right, you're on a roll. That's why it's called the fossil record. Man, how 17 seconds, and I'm impressed. It ain't gonna last though, is it?
Fossils represent death, disease, pain, and suffering. They're creatures that were living that are no longer living. They died, they got buried. The question that everyone has to answer is, how did this happen? How do we get all these layers on the planet?
Right. And that's what science does. That, you know, there's all kind of fields to answer these questions. First of all, why did the things die? Things die. I sorry, I got to break it to you. It's a bummer. But, and then disease. Again, there's a lot of causes of disease. There's genetic mutations. There's things from the environment. There's damage to the organism. Lots of things. And pain and suffering. Well, I mean, you can kind of put that together. You know, we have a nervous system for a good reason, but it's a double-edged sword, right? A lot of the things we have, our senses, and all these inputs coming in, and you know, combines with emotions and adrenaline and hormones and all these things all going on, and it can be a double-edged sword. And suffering, if you're talking about pain and suffering that going together. General suffering, I mean, there's things in the world just because, you know, for the same reason, back to number one, death. People die, other organisms die, trees die. You know, eventually our star will die, so to speak. Yeah. It's a bummer, but that's how things are. So that's why you should enjoy yourself now, because don't get too bummed out. They'll come soon enough.
And it filled with billions of dead things. If you believe, even as a Christian, that God just used natural history, there was a Big Bang and the earth formed over hundreds of millions of years, natural processes building up those layers, you'd have to believe that God did that. And then when all the layers were done, God plants a garden in the top and puts Adam and Eve in it.
Well, see, you know, that's, you know, I mean, if you're going kind of deistic, right, and God's just letting these things go on, okay, but you know, you still can't separate that from science, right? I mean, if you say post hoc, especially once science explains something, and then all you're saying is, well, that's how God did it, and it's like, oh, okay, well, but we didn't know that before science explained it. So one of the problems, again, with divine books, so to speak, there doesn't seem to be any divine wisdom in them, right? Swung over a little bit. Yeah, there's never any divine wisdom in there. You know, it's suited right to the people and what they knew at the time and what was going on at the time. That's about it. So I can't I can't accept then the Adam and Eve interjection, because if this is like a deistic thing where nature's going on about its way and God's just sitting back and watching, then there's really no need to stick the Adam and Eve in there, because as the other video explained earlier, and as I'm pointing out, they can't get their stories straight. That Adam and Eve were changed genetically in the lineage of human evolution. So they're accepting the evolution of non-spiritual, real, soul-having people before God changed their genetics to give you a soul. Now, this one, of course, is going right back to there has to be an Adam and an Eve. And, of course, you can reject this, that genetically we can't go back to just two people. So, nope. You were good up until that one. I'll give you that. What is that? Just about exactly half the video. So almost half the video was pretty good. And then you had to throw in the Adam and Eve.
Makes God responsible for death, disease, pain, and suffering, because all that happened long before Adam and Eve were even on the planet.
Well, again, though, if it's the deistic type or whatever that just sits back and lets things go, then viruses develop, and a lot of that's why you want to wash your hands, right? We share the world with a lot of organisms, including microorganisms, and a lot of them are not very much fun. They'll sting you, they'll make you sick, all different kind of things. Some are lethal. It's not much fun, but in the end, they're just doing their thing to survive, just like every other species is. So then you got to go back to then why did God create those things? To go back to your disease, pain, suffering, or whatever, with all these microorganisms, say in the water and pretty much everywhere. I mean, you've seen the things, door handles and everything else. They're alive, right?
On the other hand, if you believe those layers were laid down catastrophically by a worldwide flood,
can't be.
That means man is responsible for sin. Romans 5:12, it was.
Yeah, see, and it cannot be. The layers are separated by long periods of time. They cannot be, as the creationists say, all laid down at once. It's impossible. It's also one of the reasons that early so-called naturalists, geologists, whatever you want to call them, that were out looking, originally realized there had to be long ages because you had different types of deposition in different types of layers. So you have a marine environment with seashells, and creationists will say, see? But then you got a layer above it that could be a desert. Maybe it all dried up. Maybe it, bunch of seeds blew in, it turned into a forest. Now you got a forest. And then they realized, well then, these things had to come and go with all this generations of life going on, with all the fossils in there. And then they started realizing it had to be long ages. They were guessing millions or whatever it was back in the day, but they were on the right track. And now we know, and of course they didn't have the technology, now they can slice the rock and look at it and, all that good stuff, right? And there's a lot more layers there. And now they're even finding, all the microscopic fossils and everything. So, it's all there, and it cannot be from one big jumbled mass because of different environments. You cannot have a flood at the same time you're having a desert, at the same time you're having a forest, at the same time you're having a mountain range coming and eroding away and going. All the other, Grand Canyons, all these natural wonders, all these things going on, the continents moving around. You can't have these things in short periods of time. They all point to long ages. You don't want to accept exactly how long, okay, but you have to accept that it's long ages. It has to be, okay? So quit trying to fight it. And these folks, they want to bring up believers that did a lot of science. Well, a lot of these folks were believers, all right? And they realized because of the different environments and the layers, stacking it up, coming and going, it had to be long ages. And they still believed and went to church, all right? Okay. Catching up on that. What do we got here? I don't know what they're talking about. What's the subversion there? Got a little behind, sorry. Geo, what if no one ever died? Yeah, see, there'd be a problem, wouldn't there? I mean, everything would pile up. There's a Star Trek episode where the planet was overcrowded. They were so healthy and everything. They didn't have the better genetics, whatever. They eradicated all their things and everything, and then, they were all living, and they got overcrowded. They were literally like shoulder to shoulder and walking around, and they brought Captain Kirk on there to make him sick, because at one time he was exposed to something, because they found out, being so healthy and living, I don't know if they lived forever or a long time or whatever it was, that it was kind of a curse in the end, and they were, they were happy to get the illness, to go through their communities. Something to think about. You want to get real deep. There's also something said that when they're talking about the population exploding, that there also will probably be a leveling off period where people will start looking around going, dang, there's too many people. And they'll just, like, more people will say, maybe we shouldn't have kids, right? And populations will do that. So we'll see. Or people will just, keep having a lot of babies.
By Adam's sin that brought death into the world, and things got so bad after that, almost 1,700 years later, God says, that's it, I'm going to destroy the planet, and he sends the flood. Are these layers? Is it just a snapshot of God's process of creation?
Now, see, if you're going to accept those things as literal, then no, it's wrong. I mean, again, the layers cannot come from a flood. I don't care who says it. I don't care. Ken Ham has a whole staff saying it. I don't care. A Hawaiian shirt guy says it. It just cannot be. There's different environments in those layers. It cannot be from a flood environment. Period. Nope.
It was hundreds of millions of years of natural processes, or is actually a very graphic picture of God's judgment on sin that necessitated God sending his son, Jesus Christ, to die in a...
See, there you go. You got to have Jesus to come, again, because of the flood, which the flood thing, I mean, it really bugs me, right? I mean, of course it's nonsense. There's no evidence for a global flood. The Magic Zoo boat, I mean, it's ridiculous, okay? It's barely a good children's story if you leave out a lot of the parts. I mean, if you just, he saved all the animals on a boat, that's about it. But otherwise, it's nonsense, okay? And what was the other thing? I forgot what he said. Back up here.
Did God sending his son, Jesus Christ, to die?
Oh, yeah, because of Jesus. So then again, here, it has to again be because, okay, well, Jesus had to come to save us because we're so awful and everything. The divine plan was God knew we were going to sin. The fall was in the fix, okay? Then he knows people are going to be bad. And then he randomly targets some cities and some civilizations in one way or another, either from the sky or on the battlefield. Then he realizes, I just had enough, and he floods the whole world to get rid of everything that he doesn't like. But he then repopulates with exactly all the same things that he didn't like. Same people, same animals, same genetics. Only, again, to not really mean anything, because you still have to have this ultimate redemption coming someday when Jesus comes. That's the big plan, okay? Now, you're going to give me a big philosophical argument to go along with that nonsense? All I'm going to hear is that nonsense, okay? You have to totally step away from any reality-based arguments if you're going to argue for these supernatural mythological stories to actually be part of history. Okay? You want to babble about, slaying dragons, I don't know what I can do to stop it, really, but I really wish people wouldn't really believe that. I mean, these are not, they believe like Beowulf and all these things are real, okay? We got to do a better job, really, too.
And across. Christians need to decide what they believe about that, and that will drive their view on the.
Yep, and see, that exactly is the problem. If you're going to leave that decision up to people, what happens? A lot of people leave because I was never really into, believe or anything. I said we went to church when we were kids, but I was never really into it or anything. But people that, they can leave if they're listening to one person, giving all this terrible, even not good knowledge of the Bible and stuff, and then bad science, bad history, all these things on top of it. And then you find out these things and it's like, yeah, you might be a little mad. And I don't think that's a way to win people over. I, again, don't see any reason for preaching hellfire. I don't see any reason for pointing fingers at people. I don't see any reason for all this creationism garbage and all the money and time they spend on it. If your religion is so great, if Jesus and heaven are so great, that should be all you are talking about. Why would you talk about anything else? Why are you trying to do all this garbage? Okay? You need to talk about how great your greatest selling point is, going to heaven and being with God and Jesus and all your relatives and puppies and whatever your beliefs are. Stop all this nonsense. I don't see the point to it at all. And it's not your selling point. Your selling point should be the greatest thing ever. What could be better than heaven? I mean, isn't that word kind of mean the bestest thing ever? Right? You've got heaven. I don't hear about it very much. What's up, Deacon Verda, man? Good to see you. And I appreciate everybody chatting in the chat. Always good to see everybody chatting in the chat. I've got it on the screen. Of course, I keep forgetting to do the thing. We're always forgetting to do the things. But this guy's done anyways. You know what we're doing with this one? Removed. Who's next? I had a couple of good ones here. What's this? Okay, let's try this one. What's a soft fossil? We're going to find out.
If the fossils of dinosaurs are 65 million years old,
some are a lot older.
Why is Dr. Mary Schweitzer finding blood vessels, red blood cells with nuclei, and intact protein fragments in a T-Rex fossil dated 68 million years old?
That's easy. She didn't find any of those things. And I have the video of Mary Schweitzer being asked by Paul from Paulogia, did you find those very things? And Mary Schweitzer says, no on all counts. What Mary found was chemical traces of these things that are left over. In other words, that some of the elements, the trace elements, are still going to be there. Even after the tissues, the blood vessels, whatever it is, when they break down, it basically leaves a little bit of a stain. Okay? That's what's there. It's not the actual structures. It's just the stuff left over from the iron and different elements that are in there. So Mary Schweitzer herself, no. Maybe you should look it up.
Try as they may, the religion of evolution priesthood.
Cheers to the evolution priesthood. Hmm. Yeah, here. Okay, why ain't it doing it? There we go. There you go. I got my mystical can here that you can see through because it's green. Now I forgot which one I was. Was that one? It's good enough. Dang it, I forgot to change the thing again. Get off of there. Anyway, Mary Schweitzer. Yeah, this is, you know what? Where's my thing at? I have to find that and keep it handy. But I have the video, and Paula G has had Mary on his show, I think, a couple of times. And she's given interviews to places like BioLogos. You can look it up. All these places. No, she didn't find these things. They don't understand the terminology, basically. They're clickbaiting the terminology. And Mary is a Christian. And she kind of takes it to heart that other Christians are kind of fibbing about her research, to kind of fib to other people about, things that have absolutely nothing to do with her research. Because in the end, nothing they find inside that fossil changes the age of the fossil. So creationists can say, oh, this, that, and everything. They find things. They find some biofilms and all these different things. It doesn't matter. That's not how the fossils date. The fossil is irrelevant. It's the layer it's found in. It doesn't change the age of the fossil.
Have not been able to answer. Dr. Minton, doctor of cell biology.
Oh, yeah, well, I just answered it, and Dr. Minton, I think he's gone now. I think he passed away. But anyway, yeah, I know who Minton is, and what about him?
Concludes that vessels, cells, and complex molecules are highly improbable in dinosaurs who died off millions of years ago. Again, repent and believe.
That's because it's not in there, all right? And then what are you saying about, wait a minute. What are you about to say here?
Again, repent and believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God.
Yeah, what do I got to repent of? Correcting you? Yeah, no. Let me see. Where's... I need to get on the other thing over here. If I can find the... Where's the... Get off of there. That one is up here. I know it'd be somewhere. I know I got it saved somewhere. Here we go. All right. Just because I can, I'm going to show how wrong you are. All right. And I'm talking about this one. This one over here. This one over here is so wrong. I'm going to show you how wrong. All right, here we go. We want to drop this one off. And we want to present hit this. Okay. And we want to share the other one over here. All right. Here it is. It's up on there. It's up on there. All right. Stretch that out. Okay, got everything. Okay, here we go. This is years back. You can see whose channel it is. Whatever. That ain't the issue. But the issue is Paula G here. You can see him in the chat line up there, about 3/4 of the way over. Right. There's Paul in the chat, and this is Mary Schweitzer. Okay, this is her. Okay, that's who they're talking to. You see her? That's Mary Schweitzer. All right. Now I'm going to skip up to the part, and I want you to pay attention. Who are you? Shane? What's that channel? Shane Sowers? Shane Sowers? All right, Shane, listen up. All right, this is Mary Schweitzer. And we're going to, I know it's up here a little bit when she's talking with Paul. And let's see here.
We're going to make a world of order.
Repeat.
That's a fallacy. They're not rocks at all. And that determines the state of skin. And we have all of Rex was not.
Setting up Google Hangouts with creationists, like they're so bad.
Answer.
Yeah, and you're touching on one of my pet peeves.
Does not in any way honor God. Bias, if you, in the end, if
And the battleground that you're describing.
I just read a small sentence out in regards to that. I don't think he would appropriate.
know how to recognize modern blood vessels with endothelial cells. It depends on how you define it.
I just read a small.
All have iron.
Come on, Paul.
Because we do have very and sequencing the DNA. Does it say whose chemical makeup cell
vessels? That doesn't change.
At why are they there?
Be or are preserved.
They see that, and they required enormous and rigorous
blood in the age of the earth. And by the way, it's very, really good. It's short, it's succinct, but it's very informative. And
that they were trying to get them,
there we go.
Keep them quick. So I was recently in a Young Earth seminar where your research was used to support claims that working blood vessels, fresh blood cells, and intact DNA had been found in dinosaur cells.
Okay, there it is. Those are the three things he just claimed in that video. These things were found by Mary Schweitzer, okay? This is Paul asking Mary Schweitzer if he found the exact things that person just said in the video we just looked at.
Or dinosaur fossils. Is that a fair characterization of your research?
It's wrong on all counts.
There you go. Mary Schweitzer. That's wrong on all counts. She did not find these things.
Okay, good. And then I guess the second one, which was asked quite a bit.
That has to do with words. What do they mean by fresh DNA?
Well, it was my impression that that they were trying to give the impression of basically a T-Rex with a steak in their mouth kind of a thing. But,
no.
They're working blood vessels. That's great.
Well, Paul, if I can read something real quick.
Anyway, they had this whole thing with Mary on there. It was Bill Ludlow, I think, was on there. Is that who that is? This is way back, and they had all kind of people talking to Mary. No, okay, this is Mary herself. No, all right. Stop that. All right. Yeah, and like I say, she's been on other shows. That's the one I knew where it was. That's why I played it. But anyway, yeah, she's been on with. I saw it in the scroll there. She's been on Paula G. It looks like at least a couple times. She denies all these things. So these people are either very lazy, very, very lazy that they didn't bother to look up what she actually says. Or they're intentionally saying what she doesn't say. I will let you decide. I think a lot of them are intentionally, purposefully not looking it up. Because it's not hard to do. I just did it. It only took me, I knew where it was, but I mean, if you would have looked around a little bit, you can find it. So, yeah, there we go. Got him back up. This, was it Shane? Shane, come on, man. Seriously, you're on the internet. You made a decent little video here. Okay. Put the hashtags in and all that stuff. There you go. What do you got? 500 some subs or something, it says. 6,000 views. You got 6,000 views on this. How you got 6,000 views on this? Seriously? People, seriously. Okay. Unbelievable. I mean, you have to, and I'm sorry, you deserve to be laughed at. You know why? Because it's just so incredibly lazy that you can't look up what she actually says. I know if you punched into Google, it would come right up. I guarantee it. Come on. Don't be dishonest. Again, if your religion's so great, then talk about how great your religion is. Don't fib about Mary. And Mary, again, is a fellow Christian. So, that ain't cool either. Stop that. You get off the list. You're gone. What's this one got? Atheism is stupid. All right, I need to be called stupid yet tonight. Here we go. I want to check. Was everything glowing, deconverted man? Creationists. Oops. Dang it. Stop it. Stuff's acting a little funny. Okay. And not ha-ha funny. Creationists always lying for Jeebus. Well, there is that argument that folks like Ken Ham, I think, I don't know if they would say they're lying, but I think it doesn't matter what you do to get them in the pews. I think some do have that idea that even if you have to knowingly give disinformation, if it gets them in there, there is that argument. So Ken Ham is a weird one. It's hard to figure out, is he fully grifter or is he fully super grifter or is he just such a silly old man? It's hard to tell. It really is. I watch a lot of his stuff. I have watched a lot of his stuff. He's hard to figure out. I don't know. I would really like to get inside his head. I would. To know if he really believes man rode around on dinosaurs with saddles and stuff. I really would. I'd like to know, because it does seem to be a lot of people that, again, they think Beowulf and all these stories, Marco Polo with the Chinese dragons and, they were dinosaurs. You hear it over and over and over. And then the creationists especially love to have dinosaurs still around recently. And still flying around today in was it Mexico, the pterodactyls. And if you go into the Congo, there's still dinosaurs there and all this stuff. And it's great for I understand the imagination part of it. You know what I mean? That's great, and that's what gives us, great movies and stories and all that stuff, right? But there's kind of a line you cross when you start thinking there was actually knights slaying dragons, It's a great story. I love dragon stories. I think they're great stories. I love the King Arthur movies or any of that kind of stuff. I like those kind of movies. I think they're great movies. But yeah, slaying the dragons and some of the magic stuff, that's what makes a great story and a great movie. It's not part of history. And we've got people that think these things are part of history. And gotta knock it off. Ain't that right? That's what I thought. What's all going? A deconverted man dropping right in. Type the word awesome on your keyboard. It should do something to the video you're watching. Uh-oh. Man, I can't catch up with all of it. But that's cool, though. You can have your chats. I can't catch up with all of it, though. I'm trying. Anyways, I got to be called stupid. That's what I was doing. All right. You get a drink here and be called stupid. All right. Okay, now I'm ready.
Hey, yo, atheism is stupid. And also the Big Bang is stupid. Okay, here's why.
All right. I like a good intro.
All the extreme stars away from us that are redshifted, right? Well, if you take those and you triangulate our location, we pretty much don't move. Okay.
Isn't that kind of how that works? Dang it, I forgot to do the thing again. There it is. Isn't that pretty much how that works? That everything's kind of moving together, sort of, and the stars really don't change much in the sky, and that's like how sextants and all that work, right? Sea navigation and all. I don't see the problem. Maybe I don't understand, but the way I'm understanding the triangulation thing is kind of stuff that people have been using for a long time, right?
Okay, if you measure from the farthest thing that's away from us,
all right,
angular, you don't even need a distance, just the angle. Okay, you can triangulate all that stuff,
right,
and figure out that we're not moving.
No, that's not what it does. No. I mean, we know things move in the sky. Different times a year, you see different things in the sky, and different hemispheres, you see different things in the sky. You know about that, right? I don't. Oh. Okay. Let me try again. I'm trying. I appreciate the beard. Wish I could do a beard like that.
Okay. Yes, the stars and everything else around us are moving.
Yeah. You said they weren't moving.
Supposedly, if you look on Wikipedia or something, it says we're moving. But if you
supposedly, if you look on Wikipedia, it says we're moving. All right. Well, hey, you know what? I shouldn't laugh. You know, I say, you know, I just got done saying look stuff up. You know what? Hey, if you looked something up on Wikipedia, you know, salute. You know what? You looked something up on Wikipedia. You're I guess you're a creationist, and you looked something up on Wikipedia. Well, you know what? You got to get a, you know what? I mean, you just have to.
You rock, let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on to the sky, till the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among shadows, the wild spirits sing.
Man, I am impressed. Thank you for looking up something on Wikipedia.
If you do the math on all the most distant red-shifted stars, then we're not moving very much at all. So that's why atheism and the Big Bang is stupid.
What? Okay, he said we're not moving, but we are moving a little bit. Because, yeah, we are, in relation to everything else, things do change a little bit. And, you know, the stars pop out of existence and, you know, certain ones won't be there someday. And there are changes to the sky, and we are moving. And what is it? Andromeda or something's going to merge with us. And that's probably going to screw everything all up. And, but the idea of the triangulation thing now, again, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I mean, doesn't that pretty much just help you triangulate your position on the planet by where the stars are that you're triangulating from? And then doesn't that also translate into things like surveying and stuff where you set your marks and that, and you do a little math and you figure it out, right? That's my understanding. That's what the triangulation is for. So I have no idea how that makes atheism and the Big Bang stupid. I don't. I'm trying. It's just... Now, again, way to go looking up something on Wikipedia. Now, here's what I want you to do. Please, look up this triangulation stuff you're talking about. All right. Look up how you would navigate using the stars. Okay. Look up how surveying was done before all the modern laser and GPS and all that kind of good stuff. Old school surveying. All right. Look up how they did all that stuff. And I think that's what you're talking about. And I don't think it has anything to do with what you're trying to disprove about the Big Bang. And the stars are moving, but not moving, but they're really only moving a little bit. And relative to us, little tiny bits. So you're all over on that. And then, I don't know why you had to, say atheists are stupid. What did that have to do with it? I mean, you basically were saying because of some triangulation thing that you misunderstand about measuring off the stars, that it disproves the Big Bang because of how much redshift? Whatever. What the hell are you talking about, really? And I try to understand these things, but I don't think that makes any sense. I really don't. You had the one part right when you said they move a little bit relative to us, but then you said they don't move at all. And you're all over, and it has nothing to do with the Big Bang. And then, you had to say, hey, atheists, you're stupid too. I'm like, wait a minute. What did I do? I don't have anything to do with the Big Bang Theory or discovering redshift. And like I say, I barely understand the triangulation type thing, but like I say, I'm pretty sure that's, how the, the sextants and survey equipment, that's what the little scope is for and everything, right? You're sighting different points, and then you do a little calculation. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. But I think that's all that does. It's nothing to do with the Big Bang. So, and then, all right, you want to diss on the Big Bang, but I really don't know why you had to call me stupid, because I didn't have nothing to do with it. I think that was a little uncalled for, I was giving you credit and everything for saying that you looked something up on Wikipedia. I was impressed. I even gave you a "you rock," okay? And, I think you should lighten up a little bit on, calling me stupid. How about that? Is that fair enough? I think that'd be fair enough. But that was pretty funny. He does have a pretty righteous beard going on there. So it's not bad. Not bad. But I'm done with you. Got to answer a text from the Mrs. Desk real quick. All right, had to take care of business. I was just looking at what time it was. Okay, I got some time for a few more. I got so many of these, I'm trying to get through them. So many. Let's see, who can I pull up here? Something about Julius Caesar was a myth. Now, see, if the argument's over historical figures, I mean, there's a big difference whether Julius Caesar rode a magic horse, or if Jesus, the Son of God, rode a magic horse, or if it means a matter of an afterlife, or if it means a matter of some kind of wrath and all those kind of things, right? I can appreciate somebody embellishing a story. People do it, right? The fish story, right? Classic fish story. You catch a fish story this big, the fish was this big. I gotta think. Fish was this big. Right? Of course, it's a better story, right? And, it doesn't really hurt anybody really unless you're trying to fool a scientist or win a prize and your fish really ain't that big. Or it really didn't weigh that much. Did you see those people stuffing the fish with the weights and stuff, trying to win that money, and then they got busted? It's like, come on, man. That's almost like, an honored thing, going out fishing, competing and everything, you got cheating in a fishing tournament. I was just, that's low. This is really low. Come on. Dang. People, do better. Speaking of do better, let's see. Let's scroll to a different part of my thing here. Who do we got around here? Oh, here's Steve. What's Steve got? We covered Steve before on Saturday Night at the Atheist. And don't forget, every Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern, we gather for Saturday Night at the Atheist, and we do a more in-depth review on some very interesting videos. We try very, very hard to bring very different perspectives on possibly some of the old arguments, but from some folks with some unique perspectives on them. and also some interesting ones. One of our favorites is Wayne with the toast, and we do have answers in atheism on toast emoji. So nowhere else are you going to find that, folks. I mean, and if you want to join, you can hit the join button below. Costs you $1, and you can have the emojis too. And you also get my videos, early access, member streams, and all that kind of fun stuff. Because I'm a YouTuber now, right? So pushing all that kind of good stuff, as well as you can see the ticker running down there below. Like, share, subscribe. That's what it's all about. Really, it helps us out, and it goes for everybody. If you watch something on anything on YouTube, take a moment, hit the like, drop a comment, share it to somebody who might be interested in it. Helps people out, a whole lot. And I appreciate it. I know everybody else, Deconverted Man, I see out there. Everybody else got a channel. And, we all appreciate it. So, yeah, please do that. All right. And you're a hero if you do. And who else do we got? Oh, no. I don't know if I can bear it, but let's try it. Here is the endless windbag of anecdotes himself, John
There's
Lennox.
clearly a real conflict between the worldviews of atheism and theism.
You think? Dang it, I keep forgetting to do the thing. Do the thing, Dave. Do the thing. I need a message up on the screen that says, do the thing, Dave. I put the thing over here to help see it. Oh, I guess it helps see a little bit. I put a dark square in the picture there because the picture would bleed through so much, but it's still kind of small to see. I don't know. What are you folks watching on? Are you watching on a small screen or whatever? Can you even see the chat on the screen? I just wonder. I mean, I'm on my PC here, but and it still looks pretty small. So, just wondering. I think comparing to other streaming platforms, I think theirs is a little bit bigger. What are you saying, freak? Rome burned, Jesus existed. I'll grant you both. There was fire in Rome and Jesus existed. There you go. Just for you. I don't think it means anything other than that, but I'll grant those to you. All right. I don't care for John Lennox. I think he's an endless windbag of anecdotes that really mean nothing. He's a great party favor. I mean, this is the kind of guy you want telling stories, and everybody's like having a good time hearing the stories. I'm sure he's great at family events or whatever. I'm sure he regales folks with anecdotes all day and all night until they are just tired of all his anecdotes. And I am too. But let's see if he could possibly muster up anything other than an anecdote.
Atheism holds that this universe, multiverse for some, is all that exists.
No, John. An atheist doesn't believe in God. What they believe after that, what science they choose to follow, what theory, because there's many on some of these things that we don't know things about. Whatever they choose to believe in, if they read their horoscope, whatever, it doesn't matter, okay? Quit adding things to it. Now, what are you adding to it?
Mass energy, therefore, is the fundamental stuff. There's nothing.
Yeah, well, this is a law in physics, John, and you should know it, Mr. Mathematician at Oxford. All right? Conservation of energy, right? I mean, come on, John.
Nothing else. Theism, by contrast, holds that there is something else, that there is a God who originally created and continues to uphold the universe.
Yep. And see, that's your problem, John. You just leapt from basically what is known physics to something that's unknown. Just that quick. Went 24 seconds. He went from this to that. And it's like nothing to do with it, John.
Universe and is guiding it towards its goal.
There's no goal, John. There's no goal. Who was it? A bunch of them. I think Hitchens said it too. The end sum is the whole universe is going to run out of energy and go black, right? And then there's ideas about what happens after that. But that's the plan. Okay.
The question we therefore need to ask is this: does science support atheism?
Does science support atheism? It depends. But overall, no. Because there were atheists long before there was any modern science. Atheists go back as far back as theists. They're just pretty much outnumbered, and usually because they probably got eliminated by the theists. Theists were in power. Often you better be a theist or else. There was a whole culture built around that. So, okay. But you're losing me again, John. Bring it back, John. Bring it back. He ain't gonna bring it back.
Or does it support theism? Or neither? Now, the only way I know how to answer a question like...
All right. Does science support theism? No, it doesn't. That I can answer, John. Because if you're going to point to atheism, and it kind of dances around, the Bible stories, all right? If you're going to dance around some of the Bible stories as, this is disproved by science, then yes, it's disproved by science, okay? No magic zoo boat, no flood, no mass exodus, no Garden of Eden, zombies, no zombies, nice wishful thinking, no evidence of zombies. So science can pretty much take out a lot of those big stories in the Bible. Yes. As far as atheism goes, I think science can present evidence to disprove some of theism's claims. But I don't think science can disprove God, because for the same reason science doesn't deal with religion, God, or the supernatural. You can't test it. It's outside of everything. The believer puts it there. They put it outside of our time, outside of our dimension, outside of our understanding. It's invisible, it's immaterial, everything you could possibly say to make it completely untestable. There's no way to test it. And the only way would be for them to produce their own method of testing, which they failed to do as well. So if you're just going to put it outside of everything, then it's okay. You're describing nothing then, John. Okay? If it's outside of everything that it could possibly be in reality, doesn't that describe something that doesn't exist? I think it does, John. Maybe a little bit.
Like this is to look at evidence.
Yeah, well, John, again, John, if you don't know John, he's all over the place. He has been for a long time. I think he's writing another book. Very prolific, but mostly it's nothing. He's nothing. He just believes in the Bible, and when pressed on any of the specifics, like the flood, Adam and Eve, evolution, all these things, deep time, any of that, he just dances around. Well, the Bible says this and that, and then tells some anecdotes, and he says, but I believe in Jesus. Okay. can save us all a lot of time, John. You really could. So you believe in Jesus. Leave the rest out. I really don't care that you're a mathematician. Other than that, it's really cool you're a mathematician. But he always, well, I'm a mathematician from Oxford. That doesn't prove God, John. All right? And it doesn't. He thinks it does, but it doesn't. He thinks because he talks to other people who believe in God, that proves God. Because all he has is anecdotes. All I ever hear from him. And stuff like, oh, the Bible, and misusing terms like what an atheist is and all this other garbage. And I know he also hangs around with some of the young earth creationists like Stephen Meyer and all them. So he gets some really silly influence too. He's not hanging around with the Oxford types, or so to speak, right? He's hanging around with a bunch of these Discovery Institute goofballs and stuff. And shame on you, John. You should know better. What do we have? Oh, here's a classic. I came across this. Benny Hinn. I didn't think he was still alive. But he's got something to say. Demons Unleashed. Look out.
Think about a creature with a body of a horse, a face of a man, hair of women, teeth like lions, breastplates, wings, and tails like scorpions.
Yep. Whoops. Yeah, I keep forgetting to do it. I've thought about it before when I read about that ridiculous thing in the Bible. The horse-sized grasshopper with a scorpion tail with breastplates, and it's going to sting you forever and ever, and you can't do anything about it, and you're going to be in agony for, I don't know, a certain amount of magical years or some kind of goofy thing. Yeah, you know what I often say about John's Revelation? Don't eat gas station food before you go to bed. You're going to have some crazy dreams. It's not real food. That stuff in the vending machines, that stuff, that's not real. And you heat it up in the microwave, and then like some chemical function or funky and chemical funk goes on in that burrito or whatever. And then you dream up John's Revelation. All right. John's Revelation reads like a Nostradamus or something. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, it's so symbolic, and all them words for literary things that you can't know what the hell it's saying. You really can't, and it sounds like a really scary nightmare with all these monsters coming and a big army coming and the horsemen are coming, and all that stuff. It sounds like a really crazy dream to me, honestly. And so does a lot of Nostradamus stuff. I saw that stuff creeping up again with the Pope. Whenever there's a new Pope, there's Nostradamus. If there's a war, there's Nostradamus, right? Yeah, well, Nostradamus is back because we've got a new Pope. And if you ever read any of that, I've got a couple of his books. It's really hard to read because it doesn't make any sense. You're trying to get, your brain wants to get something out of it, right? And when I'm reading it, I'm getting like, okay, is it supposed to be poetry, right? Because it's kind of written that way. But then it doesn't really, strike me as poetry because I don't know what the heck it's saying. And then it's supposed to be making prophecy, but the prophecies are supposedly all in code. So it's like, oh, give me a break. So it can mean anything, anywhere, anytime. And guess what? Every time something happens, they pull up the same Nostradamus verses and the same Bible verses. So they become meaningless. They just don't mean anything anymore. What are you guys talking about? Hey, Oz, how you doing? Good to see you. DJ Oz in the house. Always good to see you. Poor Claire, hello. Good to see you. You guys got a lot of chats going on. Like I said, when we're on the StreamYard here, it's a small window, so it's hard to keep up with everybody. But it's good to see everybody. Good to see all the chats going on. Yeah. Always good to see Oz. Oz is up usually with the late nighters as well. Often find Oz this time of night probably. Playing some jams, he mixes. And yeah, stop in there now and then. Get my groove on for a few. And Oz also does, he does some other stuff too. He different things, and as well as he's got his show with talking about topics and stuff. Yeah, a bunch of different stuff over there. Make sure you go check out Oz. Stephanie, what are you doing up this late? I believe, Stephanie. I believe. Always great to see you. Uh-oh. Deconverted man having a philosophical discussion there. I see God making us his poop comment. Play nice, people. Play nice. All right? Appreciate it. All right, back to some ridiculous stuff here. Pay attention. We got ridiculous stuff going on this screen here. Ready? All right.
Oh, Jesus. You put that together, you've got Star Wars. Yeah. Those animals, those things. That's demons, my friend.
What? You got Star Wars, that's demons. That's that. We're Deconverted Man. Deconverted Man, ain't you use sci-fi, right? What Star Wars? What'd Star Wars do? Why is he picking on Star Wars? Who's the Star Wars expert out there? Somebody got to step up. Come on, who's going to defend Star Wars here? Yeah, DM can be that way, Stephanie. You got to understand, Deconverted Man is on the outside looking in. So, you know, what's long time ago in a galaxy far away. Okay. So that makes it demons. Gotcha. I see. I knew there was a connection somehow. Is Return of the Jedi demons too? You know? We should contact him and find out. Seriously. I mean, what else you got, Benny? Star Wars is demons, all right?
That are released upon the earth to torment men so much that men would wish to die.
So you're back to the horse-sized grasshoppers with scorpion tails that are going to sting you, and you're going to wish to die, but death never comes, something like that from John's Revelation. Yes, I know what it says. How'd that go from you got Star Wars, it's demons, to Star Wars, right back to the Bible again? The heck are you talking about?
You think we're going to be here?
Be my guest.
Yeah, with your umbrella.
There was a
yeah.
Think about a creature with a...
Put that back up there, because Benny Hinn is an idiot. I don't know what the hell he's talking about either. The hell are you talking about? The only thing he really seemed to care about was his little comment at the end, like, oh, we ain't going to be here. Too bad for the rest of you, you know, type thing. That's, you know, I mean, you know, if there's a just God, Benny Hinn should be one of the first ones that get it. You know what I mean? Come on. This guy's a slimer. Seriously. Serious slimer. All right? Bottom of the barrel, okay? With all my issues that I have with religions, and I've explained a lot of them. And again, this doesn't apply to everybody. Lot to do with the powers that be and everything, stuff like that. Okay, but this is another level of slime when you drop into the so-called "I have magic powers and I can make you all better" thing. Okay, I'm gonna be real careful about the wording here, but I think everybody knows. Benny Hinn, waves his jacket at you or something and cures what ails you, right? No, he don't. Right? He charges a lot of money to do it. He does it in like private things or something for all kind of money. And religious folks as well should condemn this kind of stuff. I mean, they know he is a slimer. They know you have to go to the professionals to get your conditions taken care of. You don't go to this guy, okay? And it's just the lowest of the low when you do that. It really is. Okay, you can cause real harm to people. I'm not talking about just the emotional harm, whatever. And these things are serious too. That people suffer from religions and stuff. I'm talking about, these people might not take, what's in their little box that they're supposed to take every day, right? Because of this, because of this. Okay, this can cause real harm. Not to mention the same folks might be giving him the money that they need to go to the Rite Aid or the Walmart or whatever and get their stuff that goes in that little box with the little dates on it. You know what I'm talking about, right? Okay. Dancing around it as much as I possibly can. Don't listen to this. Don't give this any money. This is the lowest of the low, and I think most believers would agree with me as well. People like this are just awful. You are awful, Benny. You hear me? You really are. And you know what, Benny? It also means you're gone. There you go. What do we got here? Check my thing here. You guys aren't starting anything, are you? Come on, everybody get along, okay? Did the freak say something? Need a little peace and harmony there, all right? Appreciate it. Where's my thingy? There we go. Let me see. Yeah, Benny Hinn, of course, he's a piece of garbage and not very funny. So, what's something funny? He really annoyed me. Who can I laugh at? I like to laugh at Steve. What's Steve got to say? Maybe Steve will make me laugh.
Once upon a time, there was nothing. Absolutely nothing. All caps, bold text, nothing. No space-time, no energy, no laws of physics.
No. There seems to have been energy. The other stuff breaks down, and the other things didn't exist before it expanded to give us space-time. So, and the laws of physics seem to break down, but okay, mostly, Steve.
Nothing. And then all of a sudden, kablam, and there was everything.
No, there was something, and that something expanded, and that triggered all kind of other things like star formation and probably black holes and dark matter and all this weird freaky deaky stuff that's out there. And these things all set into motion other things like galaxy formation and then inevitably planet formation around stars in the galaxies. It wasn't just everything, Steve. Don't do that, Steve. Come on, do better, Steve. Got a decent beard there. Come on. Looks, what do you use on that? It looks nice and shiny and soft. I just want to, anyway.
The entire universe sprang into being out of nothing, in an instant, out of...
No. Singularity is not nothing. There's a word for it. There was a singularity, okay? And little is known because, as just pointed out in your we don't know this and that the physics breaks down. There's a lot of, what is before, the singularity things? Does it even matter? Is it even answerable? All these things. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. We know that at this certain point, the universe expanded, giving us space-time. So isn't that good enough? Why do you got to pick a, well, you don't know this and you don't know, it's like, you just sound like whiners, really. Well, you don't know everything. It's like, oh, Christ. Give me a break.
Nothing, which is impossible because out of nothing, nothing comes.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that, but I don't really care, okay? Because what you're going to claim is, out of nothing, God made everything. So your argument is going to be totally garbage in the end, Steve. Okay, I can promise you.
And what do we call it when the impossible happens? We call it a miracle. So a miracle occurred, a super.
It's not when the impossible. I think it's, well, maybe. It's when the improbable happens, isn't it? But if you're talking about suspending the laws of nature, though, then I guess that might be in the impossible category. Because, once again, that's a claim that you cannot demonstrate. Now, can I say it's 100% not possible that somebody has magical powers? No, I don't know any way that I can test that. But as far as I know, and as far as everybody else I know, and as far as everybody else I know of who has investigated these things and demonstrating that people who claim to have these things, it cannot be demonstrated in a controlled environment. Most of them are playing on hits and misses, doing cold readings and a lot of old tricks. And again, the slimier ones are, selling you some snake oil and stuff. So it's just bloody awful. Bloody awful. That's what it is. I've got a terrible accent. Sorry.
Grand-sized, universe-sized miracle occurred. Everything came from nothing.
No, Steve. There was a singularity, and all the energy was very dense, and for some reason we don't understand, and we don't know for how long, but that expanded, and then that gives us the beginning of space-time. Before that, I don't think it really matters. It could have been there for an infinite amount of time. There's nothing preventing that. So you might be able to go back forever and never get there for how long that energy was there until it decided to expand for about 14 billion years ago. But it's not nothing. Nothing. Stop saying that.
That's a miracle. So congratulations, you're no longer a naturalist, you're a supernaturalist.
No, because it has a naturalistic explanation, Steve. You need to pay attention. I know Steve won't pay attention. He's a hard-headed one. He really is. He makes a bunch of shorts, and he's very sure of himself, and he does a good job on the videos. But yeah, it's a bunch of baloney, though.
You believe a miracle occurred. Now, here's a
No.
question. Since that miracle occurred, would it be possible that other miracles have occurred? And the answer is yes. And there's a book about it, and it's called the Bible. You can read about them in there.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And there's a lot of books with mythology in them. Oh, good. So what? And I keep forgetting to do the thing. Gosh. So embarrassed. I keep forgetting to do the thing. Sit them straight, BS. Here you go. I wrote a book named "This Book is False." I mean, what? I'm blown away. I mean, a lot of times I've been told videos are, you're going to be blown away, and I'm never blown away. But you know what, BS? You just blew me away. I wrote a book named "This Book is False." I'm blown away. Don't judge a book by its cover. BS, you breaking my brain. I know. It's just very, very deep, isn't it? Was that it for Steve? Yeah, that's it for Steve. But you know what? Wait a minute. I think I got another Steve. Yeah, I got another Steve. I'll do one more Steve. I think, what time is it? All right, I'll be wrapping it up here in a few. Let's see. We'll get through a couple more here. I'm trying to get some of these off my list. I got too many of these shirts. All right, Steve. We'll give you another shot.
How many Americans are atheists? About.
What difference does it make, Steve?
4 to 6%.
Okay.
Only 4 to 6%. And
okay.
How many American scientists believe in God? A recent Pew Research Center poll puts that number at 51%. 51% of American scientists believe in God.
Yeah, see how it starts, usually like dropping off. The more educated, the least religious. Might be a correlation there, Steve, just saying. Let's see what you got to finish it up here.
You'll never, ever hear that on MSNBC. But it gets even more interesting.
You don't hear it on MSNBC. What? What, Steve? You're not hearing that educated people become less religious? I heard it. I've heard it places. There's stories on it. Yeah. I don't, did MSNBC do one? No, probably. I don't know what that was, Steve. Trying to get one in there. Must be a Fox guy, huh? Maybe, what's the other ones? Was it was it OAN or something like that for those other ones? And the right wing broadcasting or something like that. I shouldn't go into politics. I really should. Step back, Dave. Step back.
How many Gen Z scientists, Gen Z, up to 27 years old now, how many of them believe in God? About 65%, give or take, depending on which study you listen to. So even though they've been inundated with atheism, a pretty good majority of Gen Z scientists believe in God. There's more. In August of 2000.
What's your point, Steve? All you're doing is picking numbers out of a population, okay? I could do the same thing. I could go through that same numbers, and I could say, wow, look at the number of them that like chocolate ice cream or chocolate chip cookies or bananas or whatever. Doesn't mean anything, Steve. It means nothing, okay? It means nothing.
2009, renowned geneticist and outspoken evangelical Christian Francis Collins.
Yeah. Now, here's a good example, Steve. This is a Christian who does science, but he doesn't deny the science that he does. And he's still a believer. He didn't have to become an evil atheist. He's done great work with the government and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to mention any of those things because probably get me flagged, but you know, all them places that do the good stuff from the government, right? He's worked there. And yeah, he was involved in the Human Genome Project. And he said something like, I would like the Adam and Eve story to be true, but genetics shows that it isn't, I think, is close to what he said. But he's still a believer.
Became the new director of the National Institutes of Health. Outspoken evangelical Christian, renowned geneticist, director of the National Institutes of Health. So maybe you don't have to bury your brain to be a believer.
No, there's a big problem there because I know Steve here denies all kind of things in science that Mr. Collins doesn't. Okay, that's the problem there. And I forgot to do the stupid thing again. Why won't it, needing a different window for the thing. Can I get the thing? Oh, wait, I can get the thing down here, can't I? Okay. But then I got to move this. Either way, I got to do something. All right. No, the problem is not Christians. And again, we've looked the numbers up before. A majority of believers in all faiths accept well-established science. Then you have people that are kind of, wishy-washy, whatever and stuff. And then you've got this minority of religious folks, primarily religious folks, that just want to poke fingers and try and, break that dike up of, well, if I put enough holes in it, people won't believe in science. Then you have a whole problem because then people start doubting science and they start doubting their physician and the meteorologist and the warning sirens that go off and everything else, okay? There's problems. Don't do that. So that is your big problem, Steve, because I know you deny Big Bang evolution, all that kind of stuff. You say it's nonsense and blah, blah, blah. You got a lot of videos. I've seen them. So, no. You have your head in the sand because of the science denial you like to do. You want to believe in Jesus and you want to believe there was dragons and whatever else. There's like 10 mythological beasts in the Bible. You knock yourself out with all them stories. Live in your little imaginary land, just like I do when I watch movies or read books or whatever. But then you need to come back. Okay, you got to come back to reality and sit down and be back in reality. All right, Steve? It's not an attack on believers. It's an attack on people who are willfully ignorant in the 21st century. I've showed earlier, I can look up something in a matter of minutes and disprove you that you didn't manage to do. And I mean you, the people making these videos, okay? If it's that easy for me to look something up, I'm just going to call you out as seriously lazy, okay? And, the crap with Mary Schweitzer and all that stuff, you're just being seriously lazy. Wait, if I keep this, let me see, if I keep this here, then I can look down here. I gotta remember to roll it back. Okay. I guess either way. All right. What is it? Yeah. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna find one more here. We'll find one more, and we'll wrap things up for the evening. I do appreciate everybody stopping by. It's good to see y'all. Zerovok is here. Rochelle is here. Good evening, Rochelle. We've had a lot of people stopping through. I appreciate everybody stopping by and saying hi, engaging in some discussions. What's Deconverted Man got? Some stats for us. Specifically, 33% believe in God, 18% believe in a universal spirit or higher power. Yeah, he left parts out. Well, of course he left parts out. And I've seen things, you know, it doesn't really matter. I don't care, okay? If you can cure somebody, if you can give me some new technology that makes my life better, easier, healthier, whatever it is, okay? If you can produce this, and I will support you and your product, okay? If you worship a head of cabbage, I don't really care. If you go home and talk to your toaster like Wayne does, I don't really care, okay? I mean, I obviously I worry about you a little bit, but in the big scheme, okay, I don't care as far as it's related to what you did in science, technology, however you want to describe, whatever field you're in, agriculture, however, whatever, okay? Feed the world, all right? Go home and say every night, thank you, almighty cabbage. I don't care, okay? I would probably support it. I would probably join with you. And I would say, thank you, cabbage, all right? If it would make everybody happy and we have a good time, celebrate, right? Wow, what this great new thing is going to change the world. Good for you, okay? You believe in God and you make this great thing. And a lot of people that are believers invent things. They've invented a lot of great things. Good. But it's not getting you to any kind of evidence or arguments or anything worthy of anything that because somebody did something naturalistically, okay, not supernaturally, they did it naturalistically using science, technology, these types of things, okay? You don't have an argument for the supernatural or for a God. And if you're just going to say, well, that's how God did it, well, then it kind of becomes redundant and irrelevant as well. If we can do it through natural processes, if nature can do things through natural processes, if stars and galaxies and all these things can come and go through natural processes, saying God did it, it doesn't really seem to add anything or take away anything. It becomes irrelevant. If we have an explanation, sticking God on top is like, I don't know, it's like when they put that way too much of that frosting on at the store when you get the birthday cakes, you know, and it's got like that 4 inches of frosting on it, and you start going into a sugar coma. It's like that. You don't need all that on there. Take all that off. So I really don't see any point in adding God and everything on there. You have an explanation. Adding God is not adding to the explanation. It's not changing the explanation. And it offers no explanatory power, where an explanation for something naturally does and has all that. So, okay, your God is out there. I'll grant you your God is out there if it'll make you happy. And when you die, you're going to talk to it. Okay? Good for you. Does that console you? Are you at peace now? Okay? That's fine. Okay? But the rest of the stuff, you got to knock it off. I mean, seriously, you got to knock it off. I start running low. Seriously, I'm feeling it right now. It's just like, you know, I mean, I want to laugh. I do. I think a lot of this is hysterical, but at the same time, it's like these arguments that they think are just so something, and it's just like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just disappointed they don't have better arguments. You know, maybe I need, some better competition. You know, maybe that's what it is. Could there be anybody in this list to give me some better competition? Oh, come on. Let me see. Let me pull this off over here. pull this other window down over here. Put this over here. I'm a one-man show, folks. I'm a one-man show. Hang on a second. Let's see. And you gotta be careful because you open too many windows and then stuff will tie up on you. It's a delicate balance, it really is. What do we got here? Come on, one of these, it's got to be a good one. Why I Can Never Be an Atheist. I don't remember this one. Let's see what it's got to say.
Why I Can Never Be an Atheist. Scientists cannot define consciousness. Scientists alone cannot define what a soul is. Scientists cannot answer where thoughts come from. And
yeah, this one's pretty bad. Okay. First of all, why you can't be an atheist? Because there's some things that science cannot answer. Is that what you're saying? Let me try again.
why I can never be an atheist.
Why I can never be an atheist. All right.
Scientists cannot define consciousness.
I think we can define consciousness. It's like kind of like being self-aware and stuff like that. I think we can define it.
Scientists alone cannot define what a soul is.
Well, that's not a scientific claim. That's a theological claim. So you would have to demonstrate that a soul exists. Now, the video we watched earlier, he claims that God put a soul into our genetic code. And that was the first two so-called like real people. And our ancestors weren't really people because they didn't have a soul yet, because it was 6,000 years ago that God put something into our genetics and got, and then we got a soul. But I don't think anybody's proved that. All right there, deconverted man. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap things up too. You have a good night. So no soul. We're not going to answer that one. Now, for myself, I think a soul is just another word for a part of who you are. It just kind of describes who you are. There's also words like karma that describe who you are. It's one of the things that if you could go back in time and change things, would you? Well, then you wouldn't be the same person, and then you might not want to change the way that you are, and then you get stuck in that whole paradox thing, right? So yeah, everything that makes you you is you, and I use the word soul. There's been people that said, Dave, I didn't think you're a believer when you're using the word soul for, and I said, well, sometimes you get that feeling, back when I used to be on the road a lot, working and stuff, and driving in traffic all day long, driving all the way back and forth from city to city to city, and then I get home and, man, just about had enough people. Too much traffic, too many people. Where are you all going? And you put on some music, and you kick back or whatever, video game, read a book, whatever your fancy is. And yeah, that's a soulful moment, right? Letting it all go. You're embracing the thing you enjoy and you love, and you feel better. You might have a big smile on your face, just sitting there in the room all by yourself, right? Yeah, I'd call it a soul. It's not something, though, I think is demonstrable, other than it's just part of our, memories and things like that in the brain. But it can be a powerful thing. Everybody knows you hear a certain song or you get a certain smell, and just for that moment, you can be taken back 10, 20 years, however many, right back to that very moment. Some things are stuck in our brains very powerfully, and then they were, I guess, for a very good reason at some time. It was very important to remember these things, and certain things seem to get implanted in our memories a lot better and a lot more vividly, and like a quicker access to them, right? So you got that thing popping right up in your head, So it's all fascinating. It really is.
Scientists cannot answer where thoughts come from. An atheist.
Well, once again, it's in the brain. Where else would they think thoughts come from? I mean, it's testable. This is testable. Put electrodes on people's heads. You can ask them questions. Things light up. Put them in a scanner. You ask them questions. Things light up. Thoughts are activating something in the brain via whatever senses they're inputting them into the brain, and you're getting a response either emotionally or verbally or however you're asked to move your arm, whatever they make you do. I don't see how the thought is not shown to be in the brain. I'm pretty sure it's been shown to be.
Doctrine tells me I was born without a purpose, just to eat, sleep, and die. But
wait a minute, what? I think I skipped him saying something. Who told him this? Oh, atheist. Oh, cripes. Really?
An atheist doctrine tells me I was born without a purpose.
Atheist doctrine. Oh, here we go. The atheist doctrine, I was born without a purpose. That's freaking nonsense. First of all, I mean, it really bothers me when these things are said like this, like, oh, you're a non-believer and you just don't care about anything or anyone, or, and this thing leaning here is kind of like, towards, born without a purpose, kind of like, my children, like, well, you were born without a purpose. Like, well, my kids are born because my kids are born, and whatever they do, they do. And I don't know anybody saying, oh, you ain't got no purpose. Where does this come from? It's utter nonsense. Walking around, oh, you don't have no purpose. It's like, well, yeah, I do. I do this, I do that, yeah, but ultimately it doesn't mean anything. You'll just be dead someday. It's like, well, yeah. I mean, it's not an ultimate thing or anything. It's just what you do. And I've never heard of anybody saying you were born without a purpose. You had to be a real jerk to do that. I mean, seriously. It's not an atheist thing. And the atheist doctrine thing, it's like, oh, man. I don't get copies of these books. I don't get copies of these doctrines. I don't get the memos, all right? See if you can square that for me or something, because I missed it. Sorry, I didn't get the email. I didn't get the DM.
Just to eat, sleep, and die. But Islam.
no, you do a lot of other things, but if you want to sum it up, yeah, you have to eat and you have to sleep. Kind of necessary things. If you don't do either one of those, kind of goes bad real fast. And then death is a part of the reality whether you believe or do not believe. So I don't see what difference that makes at all.
Islam, on the other hand, gives me a purpose and a mission.
Good for you. So Islam gives you purpose and a mission. Well, other beliefs say the same thing. It's good, whatever. Again, I don't really care. We often talk about this. Why are you always talking about certain religions? It's like, well, it's the religions that are bothering other people, right? If they could just keep to themselves, but ultimately they don't seem to be able to keep to themselves. The bigger they get, people get power hungry and everything, and the money and all that comes in, and we see what happens. All the religions they're disgusting with how much money they have, and the money they'll fleece from people on fixed incomes and everything. It's truly awful, and they don't care. They don't care so much. James Randi talked about when he busted one of the televangelists, and he told the story about that they found in the dumpster a whole bunch of checks, because if the checks weren't a certain dollar amount, they didn't waste the time cashing them or anything. So these people that were writing $2, $5 checks, whatever they were throwing them in the dumpster. That's how little they really care about these people. They wouldn't even spend the time to write the check that somebody who couldn't afford it wrote to them, for Jesus and all that kind of stuff. These people are truly awful, hideous, disgusting people. And that's what happens. And that's why we have to say things about it. Now, mostly, it's going to get fired back at me. We'll take that off the screen there. Yeah, ultimately, it'll get fired back, at me. And of course, it'll go around in circles. I'm not trying to say that I'm better than or how to do things, or that one way is better than another way, any of these things. But see, that's the thing. You have to be open to not telling people how to do things. When you're not open to that, the problems always happen. And that's why the bigger religions have big problems, because of all the power struggles, the money and everything else that gets involved. It always becomes a mess in the end. So what's the solution to it? I don't know. Seems that religions are kind of going by the wayside. Education helps. You push more education. Unfortunately, right now in the United States, we don't have a big push for education. Seems to be the other way around. But we need more education. It empowers people. People get better jobs, have better lifestyles. Everything all around is better for everybody. Empowers minorities, empowers women, empowers so many to get folks educated, and it always shows. Other than that, it gets really hard. I try to have fun with these videos, and but you have to laugh too at the ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. It's just so ridiculous, some of these folks, and what they want to believe in and everything. And again, if they weren't bothering anybody, it would just be kind of funny, But as I pointed out to people when I go on about Ken Ham, because that's the one I've been going on for years back, ever since I found out about him. And it's always, what do you care about this one guy for? And it's like, that's not the thing. This one guy has a lot of reach. That's the problem. Yeah, if nobody was paying any attention to him, he'd be a sideshow, you know. But he wields hundreds of millions of dollars here, there, and everywhere. It would be, sorry, I got a message. Let's see, what was, oh, Ken Ham. Yeah, he wields a lot of power, okay? So it's funny, yes, but it's worrisome. You can just, you know, even Hawaiian shirt guy, what's he pulling in, like 6 figures a year or something? I heard something, you know, he's a millionaire and stuff, right? Why do people give Hawaiian shirt guy all that money? I mean, seriously, doesn't even try hard. And you know, these ones that are being taken advantage of, I feel so bad for them. Some of these people really get fleeced. They've lost a loved one or something, and one of these psychics is talking to the dead or some nonsense, just fleecing people. James Randi was truly a great. He and a lot of others, Penn and Teller do it too. A lot of the debunkers out there. Yeah, the thing is, he also showed how easy it is to do. You know, you don't even have to try hard to fool people. That's the thing. They get fooled so easily. And red light, okay? When the give me your credit card numbers and you'll be saved comes up or whatever, you know. I mean, obviously they're doing it for the money. These people don't care about you. And they don't care about you at all. Truly awful people. And I was saying, James Randi and the rest of them, I know, was it Penn and Teller's, was it bullshit or something they called it or whatever? Because, again, some of these things are used to harm people. Some of these magic tricks and these different mentalist tricks and everything, they're used by religious people to con people, to convert people, to fool people, to be dishonest to people. So yeah, they need to expose them. They know what's going on. Watch Penn and Teller fool us, and when the mentalists come on, that they know what they're doing. It's also a little worrisome when they go in knowing you know it's not real, and then you're still fooled, and that's. I guess that's, you want to think that we've outgrown it in the 21st century, but there's a lot of folks that are still stuck in the old isn't it, I don't even want to say old times or anything. What is it? They're stuck in something. Stuck in a rut. And and you got all these Benny Hinn's and everybody else taking advantage of them. So, yeah, James Randi, may he rest in peace. Penn and Teller, keep on them. Everybody out there that makes videos pointing out what these people are doing, keep doing it. Tilting Windmill. Always good to see you. Appreciate you. We love toast too. We should drop one, shouldn't we?
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
I have to take this off first. Sorry. Here we go.
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
And speaking of toast, toast too, toast for everybody. Speaking of toast, yeah, tilting windmill, Wayne's still making videos, so I'm sure we'll be revisiting Wayne again. He just had another video drop, and Wayne's videos are always great content, so I don't want to cover him too much, but yeah, just so you know, there'll be more Wayne content coming at Saturday Night at the Atheist, because we love Wayne over there. He's our favorite, and so happy he was making content again. And the reason he wasn't was because he wrote a book. So there's a book too, and then, you know, I don't know, we'll see. So we might have to buy the book and look at it. So that may be fun too. Yeah, we love Wayne the Toast Guy. And of course, we love toast here too. We've got Answers in Atheism on toast as an emoji. And to join in the fun, you hit the join button down there. It costs you $1. You can have Answers in Atheism on toast. You have Bigfoot emojis, alien emojis. You get my videos before anybody else does. You get members-only videos, members-only perks, all that good stuff. It'll cost you $1. Of course, a like, a subscribe, and a share means a whole lot too, and it makes you a true hero. It really does. It only takes a second. Doesn't cost you nothing. Hit the like, hit the share, you know. Appreciate it a lot. Jester, good to see you. Are you as AI on toast as me right now? We love toast. As a matter of fact, we were just discussing how much we love toast. If you hadn't heard, we do love toast.
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
And I hope it's stuck in your head now, too. I'm not sure what we're going to do for Saturday Night at the Atheist this week. Where's my thing here? There I am. I'm not sure about Saturday Night at the Atheist yet. Usually I don't decide really till Thursday anyway. We always have some apologists in the queue we can do. Yeah, we're gonna do more Wayne, but you know we can't do Wayne every week. We got to give the other ones a shot too, right? So we'll see. I had another one already queued up last week that we didn't get to look at, so we could possibly look at that one. You know, we will get back to Wayne. Shoot, I remember can't remember his name, but it's the Church for Skeptics, something like that. I think Deconverted Man looked at one of his things too. He was putting out some new content, touching on world religions or something like that. Yeah, so might touch back on that one. He's putting out some new stuff. What was the other ones? There was somebody else too who's putting out some stuff. So yeah, we got plenty of sources, and the decision always is which one is the worst. You know, I don't look for the good ones. You know, I'm looking for some real terrible stuff, and it can be really hard to decide which one's worse. But I try. A lot of folks said it shows. So we do have fun at Saturday Night at the Atheists. And it's not just fun. We've got a lot of smart folks that stop through. there's brilliant insight going on amidst the buffoonery. We joke a lot, but in between and with our guests that come on, I mean, we've got our usual guest hosts. We've got Mike at Answers in Atheism, and he's self-taught and all, but he knows a lot of stuff, microbiology stuff and stuff about mind, brain, and all kind of those things. Mike's pretty learned on the stuff. He's no slouch. Simos as well, very smart, very talented person. If you don't know, Simos musically and all kind of things, very talented person. He's very good on philosophy and stuff. We got input from folks in different countries from around the world, all different ages. We get people in. We've got Austin joining us here and there. Austin's going to school, taking biology and everything, stepping up, taking the classes and everything. So that's always good to have folks that are getting the paper. We've got lots of other smart folks out there. Grayson's out there, Dr. Dan's out there, Erica's out there. The list goes on and on, right? Doing a great job. And we appreciate all the great minds, and we appreciate the great minds that join us on Saturday night at the Atheist, the great minds that have joined me at the Captive Desk for a lot of great discussions. I've had so many folks on and talked to. I'd have a hard time even naming them all now. The list has grown so long. And a lot of smart people around. Different personalities and perspectives. But you can learn a lot. Some brilliant thinkers. And Simos is gathering them too on Thursdays. It's a throwback to the old days when they were gathering all the great minds together, so to speak, from the internet and everything. And there's some really great discussions going on over there, and it's good to see, especially amongst all the dumpster fire garbage and junk stuff. There's some good discussions going on. We try to have some good ones, and we try to have some fun, but I hope you get a little of both when we gather over there. And of course, support everybody else out there. So many great folks, and I say, drop likes, drop a comment. If you watch their video, say, hey, good video, and they deserve it. Dr. Dan was on earlier. I have to catch up and see what he was talking about. I started a little late tonight, so I'm running late and everything too. It was warm here today, so I was waiting for the cool evening, and now I'm sitting here and it's cooled off, it's quiet. I just didn't know how to end. I just wanted to hang out with y'all and just enjoy the quiet, the evening breeze. And so I might be rambling a little bit. But I do appreciate everybody hanging out for so long. Hope you had a few laughs. And we still got half a dozen people. All right. Good deal. Please hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe with the bell so you get notified when I come on, because sometimes, like tonight, it's not usual time. And we have memberships. You can join the channel. And don't forget, Saturday night at the Atheist, every Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern, same channel. And we'll see you then, all right? Y'all have a good one. Appreciate y'all. Have a good morning, good evening, or good day, whichever applies to you. And I'll see you next time.
Under the moon where shadows play, the channel lights the calm relay.
Stories unfold in the softest sound. In the night watch, we're tightly bound. A cozy vibe whispers through the stream, like drifting slow inside a dream. Conversations linger late and free. The night watch is the place to be. Hang out here beneath the glow, where time moves gently, hearts all flow. Secrets shared in a soothing tone. The night watch feels like home. A laugh, a thought, a quiet tale. The night breathes slow, we set our sail. Through every chat and every laugh, we weave a stream, a timeless path. Stay while the stars are bright, each word a spark that paints the night. Connection deep, it soars and sings. In this space, the heart takes wings. Hang out here beneath the glow, where time moves gently, hearts all flow. Secrets shared in a soothing tone. The night watch feels like home. Hang out here beneath the glow, where time moves gently, hearts all flow. Secrets shared in a soothing tone. The night watch feels like home.